Alright, and in a matter of seconds, we should be live. Okay. 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 Okay, I pull up. Sammy A is here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the chat. I apologize if I look a little ratty. I literally just hopped out the shower. It's also like fucking 40 trillion degrees here, so I am dying. So my apologies if I look a little ratty. But fuck it, we ball. So how's everyone doing? It's been a very hot minute since I last streamed. Lots to talk about. Let me just, like I said, Doofy Late, Archangel Manga, and Slankus Bot. Welcome everyone. Glad to have you all. If I can only... Yo, Mike Yubi! In the flesh. Okay, you love to see it. Alright, boom. We're operational, folks. So, lots to talk about by means of updates. Big 3 still going on, though albeit at an inconsistent schedule. Largely because of me right now, because I'm just graduating and moving and shit, so I'm a busy lad. But I'm very happy to say that I've submitted my thesis today. So I'm gonna be a master soon, folks. Master Doof is on the way. Archangel, I was having such a crap day, but now the mood is peak. Let's go. We're gonna keep it going up too. Also, this isn't a glass of piss. I know it might look like it, but it's actually a glass of lemonade. Piss is for after 12 o'clock. Oh, it's after 12 o'clock. So this could be a glass of piss. I could be lying to you guys. Also, Noob, welcome to the chat. Glad to have all the regulars. I hope my mic sounds alright. I kind of had to fuck with the settings a little bit because my settings for the big 3 are not the same as my settings for going live. Also, air conditioner in the background. I don't know how fucky it's making the audio. I don't think by much, because I tested it and sound fine, but, you know, I want to put it out there, provisionally, to cover my ass. Lemon D's? Yeah, you might say it's Lemon D's. But you know what else one might say? It's a great day to re-rank all of one's Annie list. Master Doof and a celebratory glass of piss, absolutely. Sadly, Crash is not taking my advice and unreading this manga, but, you know, I have to support the homies, you know how it goes. Anyways, so, as the title suggests, I am indeed re-rating every manga I've read. Kind of inspired by Slankbot, we kind of went through his anime last night and re-rated them. So, I figured, hey, it's time to make my grand return to the streaming stage. I noticed how you added Ingress to your plan to watch. Yeah, I did. You sold me with the Eden of the East comparison, but we'll find out. Paul A, who I believe is Renegon Dawn, welcome to the chat. I'm here to be judged, folks. I exist for no other reason than to be judged by you great people. And let's fuck it. Stop delaying. Let's get into it. So Akane Bonashi. By the way, I haven't read this week's Shonen Jump chapters. Chroma, of course I remember you. Kind of fell off. You should come back to the server more often, but of course I remember you. Okay, you're Renegon. I'm glad I finally made the connection. But yeah, also, I have not read this week's, or probably even last week's Jump chapters. JJK has to be a 9 or 10? Okay, we'll talk about that when we get there. Did you ever get caught up with One Piece? We'll discuss that, but not yet. Yet. Keyword. Let's run through some of these easier ones. Akane Bonashi. Can't wait to judge you, Ping Pong. You're not going to judge it. You're going to love it. Akane Bonashi is like a solid 5. I really enjoyed the first chapter. I felt duped because I knew nothing going into it, and I was kind of hoping the dad would be the protagonist, and I kind of liked the angle of, you know, like the whole group of them just getting like banned from the league, and I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of would like to have seen him deal with that kind of rejection. But then we get the daughter, and she's a good protagonist, but I thought there could have been some pretty interesting angles to explore from the father. We also don't have a lot of like older protags in Shonen Jump, so like again, it would have been a welcome change. However, despite me giving it like a kind of average score, I would still say that like it's a solid part of Shonen Jump's roster. I think compared to a year ago, Jump is in a much better place. It's still got a long ways to go, but this is, I think, a welcomed addition to its roster. Now, Aliens Area, okay. I'm gonna have to fucking put on my gas shoes or something, dog, because I love Aliens Area. I think it's a solid 7. I kind of talked this through with Crash, and he's like, you hate Duran, but you love Aliens Area. What gives? And you know what? Maybe on the surface, they are just kind of simple, basic battle shonen. But you don't understand how fucking long I wanted just a decent battle shonen in a Jump. I don't remember the last time we had like an actual solid battle shonen in a Jump. I mean, Candy Crush, what was that one called? That Daimo really liked? Candy Flurry? Candy Crush? Because maybe since Naruto, on God. Well, nothing's gonna ever beat the king. If only Claymore got a sequel, on God, on God. Oh, Chainsaw Man, yeah, how could I forget? Literally in my Twitter thread last night, I said Chainsaw Man was Battle Shonen's last hope. But anyways, Aliens Era is like solid. I think 90% of why I like it as much as I do is because I just I want to like it, and I want there to be another solid Battle Shonen in Jump. I don't know how much that's reflected in the quality, but I don't think it's done anything abhorrently bad yet. I think the art style's fun, even on those pages where you can tell that time management has been dedicated to, say, like one really nice panel versus not so much on some kind of in-betweens. I still think the rougher in-betweens look nice. Like, it's got a really unique style. I don't think Duranron has that distinctive a style yet. It feels like kind of amateurish to me. Aliens Era feels a little more refined. I like that. I also just like the kind of archetype upon which the protagonist is drawing here. That kind of like Ichio, Yusuke, that kind of lineage of protag. So I like that. It's a different archetype that they're invoking versus Duran. So I'm with it. Also, cool concepts. All right, I'm into this aliens thing. It feels like almost like a Parasite if it was like squished into a Battle Shonen box type of vibe. I'm with this. Honestly, Shonen Champion has a lot more series I'm interested in compared to Jump. Is that the same magazine with Shy in it that you keep gassing up? And I actually did read the first chapter of it, and it was pretty nice, but it was also just one of those times where I didn't really feel Battle Shonen. A Righteous Judgment. JJK's a solid Battle Shonen. It is. I do think JJK's a solid Battle Shonen. Let's just do the Jump ones first. Blue Box is... I'm so sorry, Pokesel. Fine. Again, it's a welcomed addition to the Jump roster. I think it's solid all around. But I just don't care that much. I'm just not in the mood for that kind of romance, you know what I mean? Like, I recognize that the things I value in a romance are not what the series is trying to appease. So I kind of like the more drama-heavy... God, I don't want to say it, but the seinen drama kind of romances. I hate having to invoke that term because I feel like it's got this awful connotation now. Or at least I've made it up to have this awful connotation. But I just like to see more aspects of a relationship than what is able to be expressed in a Jump manga. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it kind of vague, so hopefully you guys can put the pieces together there. I jade that people find characters like Ichigo boring just because he isn't screaming all the time. Yeah, it's an awful take by people. I really like that kind of that archetype of a protagonist. You know, the slightly more mature definitely has their own issues to face, but it's better to me than like the kind of, well, not necessarily better, but it's situational, and I think Aliens Era has been doing it good so far. And I might even be mischaracterizing the protagonist. Like, he's not a one-to-one to Ichigo by any means. I'm just trying to, again, invoke what archetype I think they're both drawing from. Yeah, the Shy magazine. Doof, it's been a while. Hey, welcome to the chat. Alfonso Rodriguez. It's been a long time. Damn. It was good at the start, I feel like, but the honeymoon phase wore off. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about Blue Box. I was super invested because, well, I feel like a lot of my love for it was kind of motivated by the hype when it first came out, because I think a lot of people were hyping it up. And listen, me, like anyone else, falls victim to the hype train. And I was into it. And I still don't dislike it. Look, it's above average, 5.5. But it's just not satisfying me right now. But I'm also kind of like in my anti-shonen arc right now, so this is not a good time for me to be talking about Battle Shonen, or any shonen. Do you have volume 42 and 43 of Naruto? That's so oddly specific, but yes, I do. Yeah, those are like some of my favorite volumes. That's exactly where Itachi and Sasuke fight, and Jiraiya and Pain fight, which is literally my favorite part in Naruto, and just before the Pain invasion. I dropped Blue Box around chapter 15-ish. It was fine, but I didn't really feel like reading every week. Yeah, and I felt that. And that's how I feel about most of these Jump manga right now, because I'll kind of save up like 3 weeks worth and then I'll read them in a go just to kind of build momentum, because without that momentum, these series suffer. And every time I read it every week, they suffer a lot, like in terms of my enjoyment of them. So yeah. These aren't really Shonen Jump, but they are Shonen Jump. So Boruto, all right. So this is gonna be I'm really fighting some demons right now. Because I want to give it an 8. It's fucking Boruto, you know? It's the son of, like, my favorite piece of media ever. I want to give Boruto an 8. But, like, there's some cool moments in Boruto, you know what I mean? Like, I think it does contribute positively to the overall Naruto world. I think a lot of people disagree with that. I like how it fleshes out the end of the original manga in ways that kind of makes me appreciate the Kaguya stuff a little more. So just having, like, all the Otsutsuki shit kind of developed further here. I like that. I like seeing Sasuke and Naruto, like, so much more powerful. Baryon mode was awesome. Seeing Sasuke kind of, like, dance around with, like, the Rinnegan was super cool. I loved all of that. But there's just so much fucking wrong with this manga. Like, it's incredible. It is incredible. The manga in particular has special flaws that I think the anime somehow avoids. Like, for instance, like, the kind of jump in scale. So, like, again, the first few chapters, we're all chilling out. It's the new generation. Everything's peaceful. We have a bunch of children here that are... Are they younger than the original Naruto cast was? I don't think so. I'm not sure about that, but then we go from that, like, very small, chill setting to the fucking Chunin exams get invaded by literally, like, 2 Kaguya level forces. So we literally go from, like, probably the most peaceful in the whole franchise to literally the highest stakes in the whole franchise, like, in the matter of, like, 1 chapter. And this is, like, within the first 10 chapters, so it's just so difficult to palate that, like, jump in scale. I think the anime avoids it with a lot of, like, the filler early on. I actually think the anime for Boruto is better than the manga. That's a whole other take that I have yet to discuss, but you came in during the Naruto hour? No, you came in during the right hour. You just bought them, nice chroma. Archangel, just realized today that the Boruto anime is over 200 episodes, but the manga is barely 15 volumes L. Nah, I'll fight anyone who wants to talk shit on this Boruto anime filler thing. Because listen, I've been defending filler for a long time. If you ever watch me on, like, as a guest member on someone else's podcast talk about Naruto, go check my playlist. Every time I talk about Naruto, I go to the filler immediately, because I think Naruto has great filler, okay? And I'll die on that hill. But with the Boruto anime filler, it's not even, like, strictly speaking filler. A lot of it's based off, like, the light novels, or, like, things that Kishimoto, like, officially sanctioned. I don't understand why people are so... Or I meant to say anime canon. Fuck me, sorry. But I think the anime canon is great. I think it fleshed out the characters to make them feel more alive. You're more invested in them when things that are in the canon actually happen. Again, it helps avoid this problem with the intense jump of scale, because a lot of those earlier episodes are just fleshing out the characters in these kind of smaller episodes. I think it's great. Listen, fuck the haters. We stand for anime canon. We stand Boruto the anime, even though I'm only like 50 episodes in. I'll finish it, or catch up eventually. Okay, sorry, rant over. Kaiba, yeah, Boruto manga is monthly and the anime is running weekly for some reason. Yeah, Boruto was weekly for a while, but it kind of switched. I don't remember why, but it's a crazy little situation. I believe they're the same age. Okay. Sadho Mitsuki hasn't contributed much, considering Kishi wrote him dedicated special chapter for him with Sage Mode. Really had high hopes for him. Yeah, that's again why I think that the anime is slightly better, because you get a lot more of Mitsuki. But obviously, again, we can argue about how impactful that is if it's not going to be factored into the canon. Wait, but how are you talking about Naruto Boruto without throwing up? The smell. Because it smells beautiful, and it actually eases any nausea that I get about talking about shitty battle shonen like JJK. Yeah, I refuse to watch the Boruto anime. More power to you, though, for liking it. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm a Naruto fan, and I just want to like everything related to Naruto, and I'm always happy to just have more Naruto content. I'm 0 episodes in, nice. Shut your mouth up, Creams. Get him. Get his ass, Mikey. Okay, so with all that said, I want to give Boruto the 8. But there are a lot of reasons to only give it a 7.5. So what do we do here? Naruto, Boruto, 7.6? I'm not doing like that weird point shit, okay? It's either it's going to be the half or it's going to be the full. I'm not doing none of that. I'd give it a 7. Like, you'd be very respectable. I can see it. But I also have Aliens Area at a 7, which I firmly believe. And I think Boruto is qualitatively better. 7.5? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning with 7.5. You listen, this took me months to reconcile. You think I want to give something related to Naruto under an 8? You think I like this? This is truly the worst of all possible worlds. But I have to be honest with myself. And in light of that, I think I need to kind of come down on Aliens Area a little harder, because having that in the same league as other 7s is going to be crazy. What about the artwork? I want to consider the artwork? Dog, I don't want to talk about Boruto's art. Are you kidding me? It's fucking awful. It's awful, dude. It's crazy that this is a monthly manga. I can get past like, you know, I'm a big fan of like weird ass art, but like, it takes every ounce of my fiber and charitability to give Boruto's art like any pass. It's not bad, but it can be good, but it can as good as its predecessor. My brain just imploded. Apologies. I have the manga to 7. I'm mostly comparing it to Dragon Ball Super manga when I rate it, though. That's fair. Spice that manga I'm caught up. Oh, look at that. Trash is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We have a celebrity in the chat. Welcome, Trash. Glad to have you. It's been a while, especially now that I'm not on Twitter anymore. Then I think 7 is a respectable choice for you. No, I'm doing 7.5. Okay, I'm doing 7.5. I'm giving it that extra 0.5 of Naruto charitability. All right, I'm a bounce. Wanted to stop by, give you boy engagement. Nice. Peep Discord later. Yeah, I will. Thanks. But every time I see them Boruto art tweet about guess which manga's monthly, and them sharing the best Tokyo Ghoul panel, MHA panels, or something else. Yeah, dude, that shit is so fucking ass. That's like part of the reason why like I wanted to leave Twitter. You know what I mean? Like they have. I don't also want to make these grand generalizations because I think it's corny to just like generalize and then trash on any Twitter. But at the same time, they do generalizable things that are corny. So it's like, but yes, every time I see like guess which one was done monthly and which was done weekly, and then like you see like One Punch Man versus Boruto, I'm like, oh, I don't want to have this conversation. It's understandable. They just retweets. You made me join Twitter, Doofy, and then you left me to die there. Yeah, I really did, dog. I said fuck Twitter. I'm out. I like how Creams just said bye to me and Michael Ubis. Anyways, wow, we gotta pick up the pace a little bit here, boys. We'll do Chainsaw Man, okay? As I said, it's Battle Shonen's last hope. 9, excellent manga. I think depending on how part 2 goes, this could be a 9.5. This could be a 10, okay? Because Chainsaw Man is one of those things that I think only gets better with time. And despite what a lot of people have to say about it, dude, like I loved the second half of part 1. I love that increased pacing. I love how like fast and how easy it built up momentum and how invested I got in it. It was just so badass. I'm really looking forward to them fleshing out a lot more of the demons in part 2 because I think that's something that could really boost the series up a lot more. Yeah, you give it a 9. Yeah. We're here for the Chainsaw Man praise. See Creamy Green's nice. You usually see hate for Chainsaw Man. It's really still. You see hate for Chainsaw Man, dude. Twitter is a fucking weird place. Chainsaw Man is like so fucking good. I hear a lot of specific critiques about like the second half of part 1. People don't like the pacing, but like, what can I say? At times, I just want to turn off my brain and enjoy fast-paced action, and Chainsaw Man gives me that in spades. So, part 2 of part 1. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I often hear criticism of that as well. You got it as a 10? Yeah, that's a good. That's a very good score. Same, not gonna lie, it was too messy for me, but I love part 2. People are complaining about how slow part 2 is, but people complain about how slow. Oh, you mean part 2, not part 2 of part 1. Fuck me, this is confusing. I love part 2 so far. I thought it had a great first chapter. You know, there's nothing exciting going on right now, but like it's interesting at least, which is more than I can say about anything else in Jump. Second part of the manga was so fucking amazing. Yeah, you can speak highly enough of it. Okay, next we're gonna get the D Gray Man, and this was a firm like 8.5 to me. D Gray Man's such a fucking weird manga because it has this like cult-like status among people on Twitter. Like there are people that don't like Battle Shonen that much that just fuck with D Gray Man so heavy, and I don't really get it. Like I really like D Gray Man. I think Alan Walker is one of the best written protagonists in the genre. Easy. Millennium Earl, one of the best written antagonists in the genre. Easy. Their dynamic, beautiful. It's a really fantastic manga. I need to catch up, by the way, so you can see I'm still only on 230. I've kind of been just like harvesting some of the chapters. All that to say, though, I'm not convinced that it's like this absolute masterpiece, amazing, massive step over every other Battle Shonen. It's an amazing manga, don't get me wrong, but I see people like praise D Gray Man in one breath and then in the same breath shit on like JJK or Chainsaw Man, when I don't think the gap in quality is like at all comparable. I don't get it. Same with Bleach though. Bleach also has like a weird cult-like following. Like there are people that just like shit on Naruto, shit on Bleach all day, but then there's this weird like group of people on AnyTwitter that just like love Bleach, like the manga. And listen, hey, these are great manga. I'm glad they're getting appreciation at all. So 2 W's. But it's just so fucking weird to me that they see these like one manga like D Gray Man or Bleach, and just for some reason think that it's much better than all these other ones. I don't know why, but hey, fuck it. I rest my case. D. Gray Men is fantastic, and Mike, you got to get on that shit. Admittedly, it has a pretty fucking slow start. I thought it actually had one of the worst starts in a lot of Battle Shonen. Like, for first 50 chapters, it's so fucking slow. What kept me going, though, is, like, I just love that kind of, the invocation of the religious aesthetic. I think it looks really cool. Like, it's just something that you can, like, reliably get me on by using that imagery. It's just pure visually. It also has amazing artwork. And I was really invested in the lore of, like, the kind of, like, the Black Order. I don't remember what it's called. Holy fuck, it's been a while since I read this. But I think it was great. So there's a lot there to allure me, but I don't think it capitalized on any of that until, you know, around chapter, like, 60, something like that. I'm a bit worried for the anime of Chainsaw Man. It's been receiving so much hype, and I know contrarians are waiting to shit on when it drops. Yeah, like, that's just gonna happen. You're gonna have, like, the anti-shonen reactionary types just shitting on Chainsaw Man when it drops. But, like, from all the trailers, like, it looks to be of superb quality. Yeah, latest arc of D. Gray Men is very good, I agree. Need to continue D. Gray Men? You have to. You'll catch up and reread. Yeah, nice. Bleach's peak on, like, Naruto trash? I'm not here for it. Naruto's a solid 7.5 for you? That's alright. If I can get through the start of One Piece, I'll definitely get through D. Gray Men, by the way. 100%. 100%. Because the beginning of One Piece is, like, among the worst beginnings in any manga, period. D. Gray Men is, like, not that bad. Like, it's not comparable. But Doofy be like, man, Blue Box is great. You would love it, noob. And Doofy's like 5.5. To be fair, I did say that when I was in the hype train, and I probably would have had it, like, at a 7 back then, but I've since changed on that. Naruto's 7.5 for you? Damn, okay. I see you. I need to read Naruto manga, not gonna lie. It seems like it'll be much better. Yeah, dude, Naruto manga, whew, great. Great stuff. I still, like, overall prefer the anime, but, like, I have a certain appreciation for the manga that can't apply to the anime. Especially, like, since I reread part 1 a couple months back, my appreciation for it grew, like, tenfold. Now, One Piece slander crazy? Yeah, you love to see it. Okay. Duran is, like, a 3.5 maybe. It's a pretty dog shit manga. But it's, like, you know, its faults are not in any particular thing it does wrong, more so that it hasn't done anything right, if that makes sense. It doesn't, I don't think, distinguish itself yet. I think the Mononoke look cool, but I think everything else with the artwork looks amateurish. And it doesn't have a firm identity yet. And frankly, it's been unenjoyable to read each week, so I should drop it, and I did drop it for a while, but I kind of just want to see it through until it gets canceled, because let's face it, folks, it's getting canceled. Yeah, I get what you mean. Earthchild, if I'm being charitable, is a 2, and if they don't cancel it soon, I'm gonna have to get involved. I'm gonna have to call up my friend Mr. Shueisha himself to cancel this shit. Because Earthchild, it's a fucking miracle that it's lasted 23, 24 chapters in Jump right now. Sorry, I just got a text from my friends. It's shock to me. I don't know, I didn't start it. Jump has been too axe heavy. I suppose this hasn't gotten cut yet. You're surprised? Yeah, I'm very much surprised that it hasn't got axed yet. It's gotta be soon though, right? Because the fucking pacing of Earthchild is, like, neck-breaking. When the first chapter dropped, okay, there was a certain group of people that were convinced that it was going to subvert our expectations in some way by giving us the super fast-paced first chapter and then do something interesting with it later. Those people have been fucking proven wrong so fucking hard, dude. Because, like, the first chapter somehow was just, like, the warning for what was to come. Because the whole fucking manga is, like, at neck-break speed. Like, 1 minute they're on Earth, and, like, we're raising this child. Next minute we're in space. 1 minute this girl's dead, but she's actually alive. Oh, she's here now. Oh, now the child's, like, 8 years old. It's crazy. Like, events are happening like this. Nothing lingers around long enough for us to build investment. There's nothing that distinguishes this manga from anything else. The only thing that distinguishes it is how fucking fast-paced it is and how it hasn't been canceled yet. That's all that's distinguishing it from other manga in Shonen Jump. This shouldn't have lasted 15 chapters. This should have, like, the one-shot should not have even got past fucking Shueisha. I don't understand how this dogshit manga has made it on so long. Now, I know at first people in Japan seemed to like it. Maybe that's why it lasted as long as it did. I don't know why. I don't know what they saw that I didn't, but at any rate, I'm just waiting for it to get axed so I can just have another completed manga on my list. That's literally all I'm here for. That is literally all I'm here for. All right. What would you rate Gachaguta? Gachaguta. I know it ain't Jump, but still want to see you rate it. Yeah, I'll get to that soon, but it's definitely one of those. I'm not caught up, by the way. I don't know how to even say it. Gachaguta. I'm kind of letting it stew a little bit. I'm kind of letting them cook, as the cats on Twitter say. But I'll have something to say after I finish up the Shonen Jump titles, which I'll kind of blitz through shortly. For the child, it's actually kind of decent. Not gonna lie, that's craziness, Lankus. I can't I can't support this rhetoric. Hunter x Hunter is Hunter x Hunter on my list. The manga's on hold, so we're gonna get to that a little later, but it's by no means a 10 for me. I did my top 50 anime manga, and Hunter x Hunter wasn't there, so you know, let that be foreshadowing for my score. It was so odd, man. Why would they speed up something like that in chapter 1? I don't understand either. I mean, maybe they're gonna go for like a big subversive plot twist soon, and I'm gonna have my mind blown and it's gonna be a 10, but unlikely. So why you need to watch Shy, so you understand how fast-paced works. I understand how fast-paced works, my friend. Like I said, I like Chainsaw Man, but maybe I should. Maybe I should read more Shy. Hey, what's an anime or manga do you have high expectations for? Anime, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, because, I mean, I already know what's going to happen in both of them, and I know it's going to deliver, but as for manga, I don't know of any manga coming out, so it's just kind of like my standards are what they are, I suppose. Holy shit, 801 chapters into One Piece? It's been a while since I read One Piece. This is old news, my friend, but yeah, you forgot about the Hunter x Hunter slander? Yeah. By no means is a 10. Takes elegant sip of piss glass. You know, you gotta be sipping on that piss water to have takes like this, folks. Listen. I'm no god. I am but a piss-sipping anime Fran. There's no meme. Doofy is losing the voice only 30 minutes into the stream. Okay, to be fair, I'm losing my voice because I got drunk last night and I'm slightly hungover, but that's why we hydrate in the morning. And it was only a wine drunk, so it wasn't nothing intense, but it was like a wine drunk, which is its own kind of intensity. Anyways, our child with the 3-1 comeback after chapter 20. Yeah. Okay, where are we, folks? Oh, okay, JJK. Another thing that I've been wrestling with for a while, but I think I settled at an 8. I think JJK is a solid battle shonen, but like when I kind of look at the whole series, what does it have? Okay, it has Shibuya, solid arc. It has that like little Maki side arc, another solid arc. But what else does it have? I mean, Calling Games is building up to something. You know, it's a bunch of like cool looking fights. Cool. I like fights. I like battle shonen. But I just don't see it doing anything that quite puts it over the top yet. That's Hawk Girls. Like it's solid, don't get me wrong, but it's still got a ways to go, I think, to cement its legacy as anything above an 8. It's solid though. I can kind of foreshadow. Okay, you want to talk about an anime? Hey, there's no slander here, folks. Kaiba, there's no slander for JJK. I like it. It's an 8. Oh, the Gojo past arc's like pretty solid also. That is true. I do actually expect JJK to kind of have like a massive payoff near the end of Calling Games that could shoot this up to an 8.5, even a 9 if done right. But right now it's just like at a solid 8. We gotta kind of let it cook a little more before we can give it any more praise. So, you know, it brings me great shame to say that I finally have JJK over Boruto. I used to love saying I had Boruto over JJK, but I can't do it anymore. It's tragic. I only liked saying that because I knew it triggered people, and I was a Naruto fan, so I think JJK better than Naruto. No, that's just some craziness, my friend. You definitely have some of the worst takes, but I respect your honesty. No, I'm here for it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you can still engage with me despite disliking my tastes or my take this much. So that's very admirable. Okay, One Piece. I think JJK better than Naruto. Yeah. I joined the Cult of Ronin. I read and caught up with JJK because of his videos. Yeah, listen, without Ronin, I don't reckon I would appreciate JJK nearly as much as I do now. So That man's got the JJK community on his back, right? It must hurt. He's got to sit down. He needs a break. But One Piece, or as I prefer to call it, One Piss. Haha, very funny, I know. Now this is also an 8, but for a different reason than JJK. I think JJK is an 8 because like it's just like a solid battle shonen, right? I don't think it does anything abhorrently wrong. One Piece is an 8 because like it's kind of like the middle ground between some of the fucking best peaks in anime and manga. Like dude, Marineford, I'm there for it. I'm that guy. Like 10 out of 10. My favorite non-Naruto arc in all of anime manga. Marineford, beautiful, love it. But then it's weighed down by all these fucking dog shit arcs that come up in like Romance Dawn, even some of Alabasta, and then just a lot of the in-between arcs in some of the bigger sagas, you know what I mean? Like I rated every big 3 pre-time skip arc, and I think One Piece had 8 arcs in F tier? Yeah, you forgot about the live tweets of One Piece? Classic. Zombie Powder Easy 10, BG Manga, welcome to the chat, brother. You forgot about that? Yeah. One Piece is like, it's so polarizing. If you cut out like all of the shit, I think One Piece could be like an 8.5, even a 9. Like if you cut out just like all the dog shit arcs. But unfortunately, a lot of what I hate in One Piece is precisely what people love in it. Like that kind of strong sense of camaraderie, that sense of adventure, you know, having the Straw Hats kind of goof around on the ship together, explore the islands. That's what people love about One Piece. That's what I find boring about One Piece. The parts that I like about One Piece the most are like the least One Piece moments. Like Marineford's not a very typical One Piece arc. Like none of the crew's there, it's just Luffy. It doesn't really even focus on Luffy because there's so much action going on with the other kind of characters. So it's like the least One Piece-esque arc. It's also much more action heavy, which most One Piece arcs aren't to that extent. And that's honestly why I love it. So I mean, One Piece really is just a case of a manga that's not really for me. But I still read it, because, you know, it's still good. It's a solid 8 out of 10. I rest my case. Disagree, think Shibuya is much better. Do you chill with the swear my mom was? Did I even swear? I feel like I'm being gaslit in real time. Forgot the big 3 Zombie Powder top 1. True. Wow. The One Piece take is garbage, but I'm here to listen. What was garbage with it? I kind of just like went on a rant, so I don't know which piece you're highlighting there, but yeah, One Piece. Gojo Past arc is the best Jujutsu Kaisen arc? That's kind of some craziness. Oh, Trash was disagreeing, thinking that Shibuya is much better. Yeah, I think Shibuya is like by a landslide like the best arc in JJK. Like it's not really even close, to be honest. Calling Games might be able to beat it, but I mean, this is the thing. Shibuya was really just like a series of fights as well, but I thought those fights had like emotional impact. The whole thing with the Nanami, that moved me. I know people say that JJK isn't that like emotion heavy. The thing with the Nanami moved me. Also, the Mahito, what's the protag's name, dude? Holy fuck. What's the protag's name? How did I forget this? Itadori. Jeez, okay. The whole Mahito Itadori kind of dynamic was brilliant there. So even though it was like really just like a bunch of fights the same way Culling Games is, I felt like the fights there had more like thematic and emotional significance in Shibuya than what we have in Culling Games so far. But it could change that once we get, you know, Gojo out eventually, hopefully. The world and lore of One Piece, what makes me love it? Yeah, that seems to be most people's answer. I'm frankly, though, I'm not interested too much into the world of One Piece, which is like my problem. I don't find it that interesting. I mean, there's definitely aspects in terms of like the Void period or whatever it's called. I'm really interested in that. A lot of the history behind the pirates and, you know, the history of the One Piece. Like there's lots of lore bits like that I'm interested in, but like I don't care about, you know, Oda making these islands feel lived in and alive, like, and fleshed out. That's I'm not so interested in. Yeah, the Void Century is great. Everything makes me love One Piece. That's the right answer. My mom's listening. She loves it when you swear. Swear more. Doobie was spitting what everyone else is afraid to say, to be honest. Amen. You know how we do it. Okay, that's One Piece. We've made very little progress in how long? I don't know. I'm not checking anymore. P6 or whatever it's called. I was super into it in the beginning, but it fell off. Who's your favorite villain in One Piece? The blue ox scores doggy. You hate to see a young man spitting the truth on the internet like this. The fuck is that? P6? It's just another Jump manga. Debuted alongside Blue Box, I believe. My favorite One Piece villain, though, is Blackbeard. I've kind of been sitting on it and stewing with it, because I think One Piece actually has like a great cast of villains. Like I love Doflamingo, I love Crocodile. Well, Blackbeard. But I think Blackbeard because, I mean, I have to. I'm still like 200 chapters off from catching up, but we have to see more Blackbeard. I think to really solidify him as one of the greats. But like his whole dynamic with Luffy is so well done, dude. Like it's really great. I'm a big fan of it. He's also just like a fun character, you know what I mean? I'm really interested in his powers. I'm really interested in how he is able to hold on to 2, probably even 3 Devil Fruit. Little things like that I think is really interesting to look into. P6 was surprisingly not dog shit, but I only read the first 3 chapters. It's really fun. I like the angle that it focuses on, because unlike a lot of other shonen that want to focus on, like, I'm the best at what I do, and like, this is me struggling in this context, or, oh, I'm so bad, I'm going to work up to being the best. This one focuses on like mediocrity, because the protag isn't like the worst pianist, but he's not the best. And so he occupies that middle space that I think is more relatable to a lot of people, and I thought it did that well for a while. I also think it has super unique art, which really keeps me interested, but I think after a while I just got bored of it, because frankly I don't think Weekly Shonen Jump can handle these kind of drama tales very well. But that's just my take. I have a specific interest in certain kinds of dramas, so to be expected. I'll give it a 6 because I like it more than Blue Box, but it's still kind of not remarkable. What's left from Jump? Ruri Dragon on hiatus. You hate to see it. Again, it's a welcomed addition, but it's just something that it's just not what I like, you know what I mean? It's just not what I like. I think it's fun. I'm glad that we're kind of branching out. It's just not what I like. What can I say? What's left for Weekly Shonen? Oh, Super Smartphone. That's like a pretty solid 6.5, methinks. Damn, Doof rounded up to 6, Doof. What am I rounding up to 6? What did I even rate? Oh, Ruri Dragon? I can't, Mike. I can't be disingenuous here. I can't put it on the same level as P6. Blue Box is great though, and it improved a lot. I mean, maybe it improved a lot. It's just not what I'm into right now. I don't think my score is reflective of like any of its. I'm gonna avoid how I'm gonna phrase that. That was gonna be like a Ruri. Was gonna be like a slice of life comedy, and was kind of disappointed. Yeah. It would be like no fights, 6 or worse. For Shonen Jump, absolutely. Yeah. Shonen Jump, I still think thrives on that kind of action manga, and I hate that it's not going in that direction more. I mean, we've got Aliens Area, which I do like, but we'll quickly see that when it comes to completed series. I'm here for the non-action manga, more than the action manga, I'd even say. I think all battle shonen for me more or less kind of like simmer down like around an 8. I think the ceiling's high, but like it's not often it'll go there. Though I think with a lot of like the kind of seinen drama I read, like it's way higher through the fucking roof. I just want a funny gag manga. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, Super Smartphone. It's fun. I like the concept. It just needs more time to cook, really. As you can see, I'm a little behind. Yeah, I don't know what to say. The rule is if it isn't Naruto, we deduct 2 points immediately. Amen. To be the Philosopher King wants more men punching each other. Well, listen. Socrates said you had to train the body as well as the mind, so... What can I say? I've got to encourage infighting to strengthen my men and women. Do you read Roboco? I don't, actually. Kind of want to start it. I need my weekly laughs. Yeah. I mean, Crash is a big proponent of Roboco. I just don't think it's something I can get into, but I shouldn't make these kind of prejudgments. I should just kind of read it and try it. But I'm also just not looking for another battle shonen, or another shonen to read, I mean. Roboco's the shit? You actually read that? Also, BG Manga, are you who I think you are? Are you Tight Kubo, by the way? I'm 90% sure you are. But I don't want to get it wrong. I hate it when people have different names on my Discord, and then like on YouTube, and then on Twitter. Yeah, okay, I thought so. You're a weird guy. Best jump manga since Fist of the North Star. Oh, true. True, so true, King. The Sakamoto Days. That's a fucking great manga. That's an 8. That can easily go to an 8.5, depending on where this current arc goes. I think I think Sakamoto Days delivers the funnies. I think it delivers the action. I think it has a great balance between the two. It's very palatable. Great art. Surprisingly good choreography. Like, you wouldn't expect it to be as well choreographed as it is, but I think it's like on par with JJK, which I think has remarkable choreography. I have no shame for getting people's names on stream. Yeah, no shame in your game, and I respect it. Okay, that wraps up the jump titles. Let's do a Gachakuta now. Listen, I much like everyone else, I was a part of the hype train when this shit dropped. It looks awesome. It's created an interesting world. And I'm obviously not entirely caught up. I'm only 11 chapters in. But it's just like another solid battle shonen. I think it's a case of me wanting to like it more than I actually think it's good. Gachakuta is by the assistant of Fire Force. Just a little battle shonen. I don't know what magazine it is. I think it's a Kodansha magazine. But it's like, as much as I want to love it, where I am, it's just solid. It's not remarkable, okay? It's not as good as I want it to be. It could change. Listen, 11 chapters in, bro, that's nothing. It could become Naruto. Naruto wasn't... Okay, whoa, let's calm it down, folks. I was going to say Naruto wasn't even that good at chapter 11, but I really think Naruto kicks it off in, like, the first chapter. Like, Naruto is that manga. But that's... We'll get there later. I'll give it a 6.5. I wanted to give it higher, bro. I wanted to give it higher, but I just can't lie to myself. I think it's pretty average, but when you catch up to the latest big fight that recently happened, I think that's where true strength shines, but still overall pretty average. Yeah, I did I did see like a panel from like a fight that I thought looked kind of nice. So, because we haven't really got to see the full extent of like the choreography of this manga and really how it can play with its battle system. So it still has a lot of room to improve, but as it stands, it's just like 6.5 solid, methinks. Tokyo Revengers, listen. The Tokyo Revengers hype train, I wanted to fight it for so long. I did. Everyone was saying read Tokyo Revengers. I resisted that like the fucking Black Plague, okay? But then I got on it. And it really is that manga, dude. I don't care. I thought Tokyo Revengers was fucking fantastic. I think it's at the point now, however, where it's getting repetitive. And I think that's holding it back a little. Up until chapter 200, you're saying 7? I'm saying up until chapter 200, like 8, 8.5 even. After 200, though, it's got little moments of brightness, but it's lost the plot, methinks. Some arcs for filler. Yeah, and it's dangerous to have those kind of filler arcs when your whole manga is premised on a single concept, and so like you're just copying and pasting it each time. You can only do so much, and it can't afford to have that kind of like that filler aspect while it develops like bigger plots in the background. I think that's working to its disadvantage. Otherwise it would be an 8, some points were 9. I agree, I absolutely agree. But with all that said, I am a man of highs outweigh the lows. And I'm going to give it a 7.5. I used to have it at an 8, so this is... I think at once I even had it at a 9 when I was like in the peak of the hype train. I remember I was going around talking some crazy shit saying that it was better than Attack on Titan. That's the craziest shit I've ever said in my life. I take that back like that. But I'm giving it a 7.5. I think it's solid. So happy the anime is actually going to continue at a good pace. Yeah, I'm going to finish season 1, then I'm going to hop on season 2 when it drops. I kind of need a refresher, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of earlier Tokyo Revengers was great, and it only gets better. It's only like until, well, not recently anymore, but semi-recently that it fell off. And again, I'm behind, but I'm not convinced that it's... I haven't heard any buzz of it picking up the pace, so... The hype train derailed and killed all their passengers from what I've seen on Twitter. I think Tokyo Revengers hate's a little forced. Like, I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of people have made it out to be. Like, I see people, like, ragging on it. Just absolutely... I don't know. They're just saying that it's, like, really fucking bad, and I don't think it's that bad. Like, I don't know. That's the most sophisticated I could say it. After seeing Takemichi crying after getting the shit kicked out of him for the 5th time, I was like, okay. I think that is the problem. I think you're very... keen to point that out. I remember all those video essays, you know, Takemichi, what was it? The delinquent crybaby or something like that. There's a lot of video essays like that and talking about how cool it was and how it does it better than My Hero Academia, but I don't think people are feeling that way anymore. You'd be based for liking Tokyo Revengers over AOT. Unfortunately, I'm not based today. I'm cringe, it seems. Takes a sip from the piss glass. All right. Let's do a little... No, let's not do a recap, because it's going to be a long-ass stream, folks. Blood on the Tracks. Takemichi is slightly better Deku, but his powers aren't as cool, so it levels out. Yeah, well said. Massman made a video apology for recommending Tokyo Revengers. That's so funny. I love that. That's just, like, conceptually such a funny video. Blood on the Tracks, okay? AOT is so problematic at the final season. It's WWE 2 commentary that people gush over as poorly written. I actually don't care for the World War II kind of parallels. I think that's so corny. Like, when the extent of someone's analysis is like, this anime mirrors this thing that actually happened. I'm like, okay, and then what? I mean, they're saying that it offers a commentary by, like, putting actors in different positions and seeing how that plays out, and then obviously delivering a certain message to the viewer. Whatever. I don't care. I think those kind of parallels are, like, boring. Doofy, my guy, you swear like you drink piss. I don't think I swear. I think I'm being gaslit too. Have I actually swear that much this stream? Also, shout out to Slinkus' mom. I'll try and tone it down. Okay, Blood on the Tracks. Another case of I think Fleur said it best. Blood on the Tracks lost the plot. Like, this really had the potential to be like a 9, 9.5. Like, the ceiling was so high with Blood on the Tracks. It was incredible. The psychological aspects early on. You F-bombed 3 times at least? Okay, noted. I think it handles the psychological aspect so freaking well early on. Between Seichi and his mother early on. Like, I think it just pans out incredibly well. Early on, that's such a unique dynamic. The kind of the parent-child dynamic, as opposed to, say, something like in Flowers of Evil, where you have like just 2 students that are on the same level. Blood on the Tracks, the power dynamic's completely different. And I think that reflects in the relationship itself and the kind of psychological torture that Seichi goes through. And it's just like so gripping and eerie early on. I'd say, honestly, you said good for the first 50 chapters. I say it was good for like the first like 80 chapters. Up until Seichi kind of gets put in prison, I guess. Not prison, but goes to the delinquent home or whatever. But I can't find the volumes. Yeah, it's tragic. Hey, bro, sometimes you just gotta read online. I'd love to support you, Oshimi, but... Actually, I don't even want to support you right now, Oshimi. You lost the plot. You fell off. Because we just found out like the first 100 chapters was just the prologue. And I'm like, dog, it was already getting long-winded by like chapter 80, so it's dicey. I don't know where else you can go. And with this stuff on the time skip, nothing's been interesting. So what could have been like a 9, 9.5? What could have even, honestly, at one point been a 10? At a certain point? Oh yeah, that's when it fell off the cliff. Yeah, exactly. I think it's being held down a lot now. But I still can't get over how good like the first half was. So I still want to give it like at least an 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. And on the topic of Oshimi, welcome back, Alice. I think Oshimi, these 2 works that he has ongoing were like so great at the start. I loved them. But I think actually he's being spread thin by the fact that he's doing 2 manga now. I think the art in both is like really suffering, like visually. And I think even narratively, like, I don't know, I don't feel like it's very purposeful or it's leading to anything interesting. I think Welcome Back Alice did a great job kind of questioning gender roles early on, especially in Japanese culture. I thought that was rather brilliantly done. It's not something I was used to seeing in manga, so I was really interested to see how Oshimi, who has like this kind of experience with certain power dynamics and relationships, could apply that to, you know, this issue of, maybe not issue, that's not a great way to phrase it, but like this different situation as it's being perceived in the kind of Japanese I don't know what I'm saying at this point, I'm derailing. But unfortunately, I just feel like, again, it's lost the plot. I don't know where it's going. It doesn't have any clear purpose anymore. I feel like each chapter is being made just to make another chapter. I don't feel like we're getting anywhere anymore. But the first few chapters are so good. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. Nah, the Sigmund Freud of manga is whoever makes Made in Abyss. That dude is definitely a weirdo. I've never read that. I never actually heard that comparison either. So interesting. Oh, you should have seen my VC rant on Oshimi. He called him a Sigmund Freud of manga as well. I didn't saw it because Freud's a total weirdo. Have you read anything by Freud? I mean, not by Freud. Well, also a question. But have you read anything by Oshimi? I mean, that's 100% what like Oshimi's playing on. I mean, Oshimi's doing the psychoanalysis like 100%. You know what I mean? Like how things are, how certain emotions are expressed through sexuality. Sexuality in this broad sense. Freud had a really rich sense of sexuality, not in just terms of like intimate relations with your partner, like intercourse, but just kind of like an affinity towards the gender of attraction. Like it's a really rich and well thought out concept of sexuality. But that said, I think it doesn't go very far. I mean, other than like, oh, my emotions expressing itself sexually in this way. Like I think that he fully explored that to the best of his abilities in something like Flowers of Evil. Oshimi that is, but I just feel like now we're kind of seeing the same thing over and over again. Though he has other works that I think aren't so on the nose with the kind of sexuality angle. I mean, Devil Ecstasy is obviously not one example of that, but Drifting Net Cafe I think was quite brilliant actually. Was very different for an Oshimi manga. It definitely has a lot of his like kind of tropes that you know him for, but if you want to check out more Oshimi's library and not get this kind of so on the nose sexual analysis, you know, Freudian psychoanalysis, Drifting Net Cafe I think would be like a nice change of pace. I really like that manga actually. Yeah, welcome back, Alice. 7.5. The Oshimi bias is very heavy. I think it should only be a 7, but listen, I'm letting the biases win today, folks. I don't want it to be on the same level as what I expect will be other 7s. Dog, we're still only on the fucking ongoing manga. Sorry, Slankus' mom didn't mean to curse. Yeah, I was wondering if my scans were effed, but no, Oshimi just fell off. Yeah, dude, the art's just like, it's not there anymore. Wow, that's even for manga. Okay, yeah, I've already read that. Sorry. Okay. Demons of the Shadow Realm by the mangaka of Full Metal Alchemist and Silver Spoon. What I was hoping was going to be an absolutely amazing battle shonen from someone who I know can do an amazing battle shonen, just in the 5 chapters I've read, has accomplished nothing. A mildly interesting first chapter, then a bunch of boring sequels. I reckon it has to brew a little more, but already it's leaning into a lot of like the comedy elements from like FMA, that kind of that I think a lot of people hate it for. I think I liked it in Full Metal. I don't think it works here. But it's leaning into a lot of the cliche battle shonen like comedy tropes are very early on. I don't know. And I'm not a big fan of her art, to be honest. That's why I've always preferred the Full Metal anime to the manga. There's a kind of softness and a curvature to her figures, which I think is interesting for a bit, but there's almost like a tension between that kind of art style and like the action she's trying to depict, so I think it kind of works against itself. 3 out of 10 for you? Yeah. I'm not gonna be that harsh, because again, I'm biased towards the manga because she did Full Metal, so I don't want to put it on the same level as Drawn, but I mean, even being uber charitable, I think a 5 is kind of pushing it. We'll leave it there for now. I'll read more. Hopefully it's better, but if it's bad, I'm just gonna have to dock it. Oh, I forgot that manga dropped. I read the first chapter and never came back. Yeah, because there's nothing really to go back to. Man, it's sad these old authors fell off, or falling off. Yeah, it's a shame, but hey. We can at least be grateful for the work they've given us that is still on. I'm gonna go read it. I genuinely forgot after that first one. Yeah. I should reread it also, in all fairness. I feel like I could have given it a better treatment, but alas. Alright, so then we get like these two very doofy core manga, okay? What's the English name for this? I Want to See You Embarrassed. It's a manga. It's a manga. I don't know what to give it though. I mean, despite being adult, like it's a little more plot. DM those ones to me, please. Bro, can you just check my list, bro. Come on now. Check the VOD. This one, it's more plot heavy. I like that. I like that it's because, okay, listen. I gotta beat the allegations here for a moment. If you follow me on Annulus, you've probably seen a series of hentai being read by me. But please understand, it's for the plot, fellas. I'm not even saying it as like a meme. Like I'm really looking for like the next Nozakiana. Like I want a drama that is open and honest about the sexual parts of a relationship and the problems that arise in that domain. I feel like to ignore that is doing a disservice to what a relationship entails. I think a lot of hentai focus too much on the sexual aspect of it. Whereas I think a lot of like the kind of shonen takes on the drama that I've been criticizing so far don't address it at all. So I'm trying to find the balance, right? And sometimes it works. Like some of the Suya works I've read, they're great. Nozakiana, again, that's great. But you gotta find that balance. And it's impossible to find. Like it's that like the overlap between the two, you know, the sex focused and the more drama focused. The overlap's like that. Like it's barely there. Sorry, I had to step up for a bit. No worries. Guys, please. I do. No, I do. You guys don't have to believe me, because I know in my heart of hearts that it's true. But I just want to be truthful with you guys. All that said, this is like... What did I put Blue Box at? 5.5. P6 out of 6. I'll put it at a 6. I think I can respectfully give this a 6. Yeah, I think it's a 6. Sorry, I'm just clearing notifications on my phone so I can be more alert when I get an actual one that matters. Alright. Now we have one of Suyasuya's ongoing... 6, yeah. One of Suyasuya's ongoing works. What's the English name? Sunset of Passions. It's like... is this his longest work? I think it might be. I'm here for it. I think it's solid. I go to 6 also. Again... Were you able to find the manga called Pi? No, I wasn't. I'm still actively looking for it. I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to start the look all over again because you've just reminded me of it. That's a manga by Furuya. It's about a guy who, I think, if I remember, it's supposed to be about a guy who, like, uses... what's the formula for figuring out the something of a circle? 2 pi r squared kind of thing? What is that called? The circumference? Yeah, anyways, he, like, I guess, gets the circumference of... Or no, he's looking for a woman whose breasts have the circumference of pi. I think that's the plot, because you think that's perfect. Something like, I don't know. It sounds so fucking weird. Sorry, Senka-saman. But I'm just curious to see where Furuya would take that premise, you know what I mean? Because a premise in a vacuum is meaningless. It's knowing the mangaka and the different directions they might go. Now that's important. I think Furuya could actually do, because Furuya, although he has a lot of manga that like really emphasizes the sexual aspects of relationships, it's never the focus for him. It's never the focus. So I suspect that even with something like Pi, that he wouldn't take that line. I think there's something interesting that he wants to draw attention to that I think he can do well. But I'll never know because I can't read Japanese and I can't find any translations. Anyways. So we did it, guys. We've rated all my ongoing manga. This is great. Now let's do the completed ones. How many completed do I have? So about 200. That's not so bad, right? Okay. I just gotta briefly like reply to my girlfriend. So forgive me. Okay. We're back. We're back, folks. Fret not. This is gonna be daunting, but we're gonna blitz through a lot of these. I hate that I even have this on my list, and I kind of want to delete it. I might even delete it because to me it's just a meme manga. Okay, it's just a meme manga. That's what it is. Is it by the Tokyo Revenger? Yeah, or not Tokyo Revenger, Tokyo Ghoul guy. I don't know, like it's so short that there's nothing going on, but there's nothing bad. I mean, it's a fun little meme for a second, but I'll give it a 5, whatever. Because I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't give it less than average. Yeah, 5. 5 I think is adequate here. I should start reading more renowned manga. I've just been reading a bunch of junk, so I can catch up to the seasonal stuff. That's fair. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of where I am too. Like, that's kind of why I really decided to read One Piece, is because, you know, I've already read Naruto, I read Bleach, I love them both. Kind of want to just have the collection of the big 3. I also kind of want to go back and read more of those, like, kind of seinen classics. I should give Berserk another shot. I don't think I'll like Vagabond for a myriad of reasons. I've already read Pun Pun. I don't know, there's definitely certain seminal works that I feel like I'm missing out on because I want to read this weird stuff. 13 Club is just a collection of whatever short horror stories. I thought it was average. 5 centimeters per second. 6. It's solid. I just don't think it's nearly as crazy as everyone makes it out to be. Who's the mangaka? What else have you done? I know you're famous, aren't you? Okay, you're not the artist. Director of your name? Is this right? Really? Oh, Shinkai. Shit. I can't believe I didn't notice that. Yeah, that's why I knew he had other connections. So Weathering with You, your name, you know, everyone knows him. She and Her Cat Flows, Garden of Words, all the big ones. 5 centimeters per second. Did the manga. What else? Voices of a Distant Star. Wow, this is really the guy, huh? He's got all the classics. 5 centimeters per second. Now that I'm seeing a Voices from a Distant Star, which I thought was better, the manga was actually like pretty cool. It makes me not like 5 centimeters per second as much. I'll keep it at 6 though. We'll keep it simple for now. Reversal, just another kind of like short horror-ish kind of manga I read in my early elitist days. I don't really remember much from it. 5. Yeah, I read it in 2014, so can't say that I remember much of it, but we'll give it a 5. I'm sure it's average. Girl on the Shore, Asano the Goat, 8. We Move. Oh, Kumakishi. This was like a tangential manga to Devilman. I thought it was solid. Gorgeous art. Ever so slightly filled with the Devilman lore a bit. I'll do a 6.5 maybe? Yeah. Girl on the Shore time. Girl on the Shore is a 10. Girl on the Shore is great. I might reread it. It might be higher. It might be cutting it a little low. Honestly, remember when Snow was reading A Girl on the Shore, I was kind of reminded of how good it was. I feel like just because it's been a couple years since I've read it, it's faded on me. I gotta reread it. I'll give it an 8.5 though. You've done some persuasive work here, Slankus. You're doing us all a great service. Okay, Alien 9 is just like this. I read it on the recommendation of, well, Annulus, but it's because it was supposed to be like similar to Dead of Demons. It's fun, but it's episodic. It kind of gets boring quickly, despite having like 2 spin-offs or whatever. The original is like probably like a 6. The other 2, slightly less remarkable, 5s. But not bad by any means. That's the thing. 'Cause that's like when I'm dishing out 4s, that's when it's bad. That's when something is like less than average. I think these really are just like average manga. But I think we'll quickly get to the bad ones. All you need is kill. Honestly, fantastic. I don't care what people say. I thought I had a great concept. I thought I had a really great emotional payoff in the end. It's one of the few times where I'm not like bored of looking at Obata's artwork. That might be a bit of a hot one, but I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Obata's artwork. If you've read one Obata manga, you read them all visually. But this one is just done particularly well. I think the story's so good because it's based off a novel, so it's... Yeah, no, we're rocking with it. 8.5, methinks. As You Know Chi is a manga by my good friend, Naoki Yamamoto. He's the dude that drew Death Note, right? Yeah, did Death Note, did Bakuman, Platinum End more recently. Now Shonen Shoha, something like that. I need to read All You Need Is Kill, but I want to finish Gaunt's first. I actually own the first 2 omnibus of Gaunt's. I really look forward to reading it. But I'm probably not going to get to read it till I return home because I'm shipping like all my manga that's up here to my house before I move, just so there's less luggage to take. And I reckon Gaunt's is getting shipped today, so I won't have it to read. Anyways, As You Know Chi is a very bizarre manga, as is all of Yamamoto's. And yeah, it's about a girl who wanders around aimlessly after bombarded. I think the thing that Yamamoto strives in is kind of just focusing on interesting dynamics amongst weird groups and weird circumstances. So here it's like in a little shelter after like a bunch of bombardment. Everything's kind of like not really post-apocalyptic, but you know, post-war maybe. Believers, you know, he's got like this kind of group of people on this island who are part of a cult, thinking that they're gonna be saved by rejecting modernity, all that kind of stuff. So he's really good at focusing on like those strange dynamics. I don't think this one's like particularly amazing, but I am, you know, like with all of his works, a generally pretty big fan. So we do 7.5. Apollo Song, just an excellent Tezuka manga. Definitely moments where it feels like it overstays its welcome, but by and large, I think it comes together really nicely. Give it that an 8. Arigato, as you all know, I'm a massive fan of this manga. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a masterpiece. It's very difficult, well, just shy of a masterpiece, we'll say. I think it's difficult to recommend this to anybody because of like how explicit it gets. But I think once you can get past that, it uses a lot of that stuff to push what I think is a really important message, and I think it does so in a very sophisticated way, and it's very honest about it. But it's also willing to show like the truth, depths of how evil humanity can get, and it's a pretty cliche way of framing things, but it's quite a difficult read at times for that reason. Nonetheless, I love this manga, so 9.5 for me. Asteroid is by how do you say his name? I've never said his name out loud. Yeah, Koike. probably best known for, yeah, Ultra Heaven. He's got some other ones. Yeah, I've kind of like slowly been trying to read all of his works, but every time I get to Ultra Heaven, I kind of read it for a few pages, and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this. He's one of those guys. He's very strange. Like G doesn't have like any chapter breaks. It's literally just like 300 pages, like just straight. Ultra Heaven's kind of like that too, where it's just these big, massive chapters, and I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I don't like long chapters. Ultra Heaven, I think, is only 4 chapters and on hiatus, but it's like one of those things that have been on hiatus for forever. Yeah, I mean, it started in 2001, and it's currently on hiatus. So, but people seem to really like it. You know what I mean? Like it's relatively well received, I think. How many chapters long is it? I don't know, but not many. That's all I know. Anyways, Asteroid was, I don't even remember Asteroid. I feel like I read that like semi-recently too. To me, the end of the world. Come on, guys, take you. Trips you through time and space, the end of the world. Yeah, it's one of those things where he really strives visually, but I just don't know how much he strives narratively. Maybe there's more narrative that I've yet to uncover in this, but like I said, I haven't uncovered it, so that's going to reflect in the story. I'll give it a 6. I think it's above average. Like, visually, it's stunning. He's very creative with how he can kind of skew perspectives and work that into figures in the artwork to kind of create this trippy visual, but it's confusing, to say the least. Maybe I need to give it another read. I probably won't, but a 6 it is. I feel you. I'm going through Berserk for the first time, and has so many 100-page long chapters near the start. Yeah, that's very difficult for me to get into. Very difficult. I have to break that habit, though. AOT the manga? 9. I'm a big AOT fan, but I think that the anime essentially improves on it in every way. I don't love the art. I think it's quite messy, especially early on. It definitely kind of refines itself over time, but I do find it difficult to pick out figures during fights at times because of how scratchy it can be, especially early on. But yeah, again, the animation soundtrack just elevate this to a 10 overall, I think. But the manga, 9. As regards the ending, I know it's controversial. I love the ending. I think the ending is great. I wouldn't change it for the world. Okay, sorry. Again, replying to girlfriend, but we're back again. You agree with the AOT take? As you should, Slankus. You can't disagree with facts. Alright, I mean, yeah, we're getting there, we're getting there. Avant-Garde Yumiko. This is, I think, very... Nice read on that tag? Yeah, nice. Avant-Garde Yumiko is, I think, like the perfect entry to Oshimi's catalog, because it really puts the psychoanalyst kind of shirt on right away. It's very in your face, I think. Because Yumiko's obsession with, like, you know, the male's genitals is not like a sexual desire, and we see that quite explicitly when he makes moves on her. But it's just kind of this obsession with the other, what's not you, you know what I mean? Like, there's this kind of, I guess, lust that emerges through the difference. So I guess maybe one way to phrase it. But I think it's a little simple, a little on the nose about it. I kind of like the more long-winded approach of, say, Flowers of Evil. It's still solid, though. I'd still give this like a 7 overall, because it is, again... Would I give it a 7? Give it a 6.5. I'm being a little too... So B stars. No, but that one's for furries, unfortunately. So we don't stand B stars around here. Okay. Aiko, again, much like all of Tezuka's more mature works, I think it's solid. I read this because it was supposed to be kind of analogous to Arigato. I kind of see it. I just don't think it did it as well. I think that has largely to do with like the kind of, it's dealing with a larger family, more dynamics at work, more kind of sub storylines. I think it all comes together nicely, but it's a little too spread thing, I think. Whereas the beauty of Arigato is the kind of focus on just the daughters and the parents. So the only B stars fan here. So it seems. I mean, chat's died, so I mean, you might just be the only one there besides Kaiba. Did I say it, by the way? Kaiba Lurton? Oh, Ayashimon, I forgot I had finished that. 3. It was bad. It was corny, even. I hate, like, I know what made it unique was the kind of, like the self-referential, I want to be a manga protagonist kind of angle. I thought it was so corny. I was very happy it got canceled. I thought it had an opportunity to kind of do something interesting in the ending, maybe have him lose or something. But of course, you know, Shonen Jump, he's got to end. Everyone's got to be happy. You know, he's going to move on. He's going to keep fighting, blah, blah, blah. Boring. But I don't think it's as bad as something like, say, Earthchild. Like, I think there's a kind of sophistication here that is just absolutely abhorrently missing in Earthchild. Like, it's kind of well put together. It's boring. Corny at worst. But it's no Earthchild. God, I wish I knew someone with the same manga taste as me. I feel like manga is more dependent on recommendation than anime. Maybe? I don't know, it's hard to say. Yeah, that's right. I like Beastars, but I don't think I'm a fan. Fair. I've seen both seasons of Beastars, and I have it at 9. I want to move forward and finish the manga, though. Maybe I'll watch it or read it eventually. It does look solid, but like I just like making the meme about the furries. Then I actually want to have an ending plan for when it got axed. But then it kept going, so they scrapped it, but then it got axed later. I don't know about the history behind Ayashimon, but what I do know is I'm glad it got axed. I don't remember what replaced it, but I think it might have been Super Smartphone, so that was a much welcomed change in the roster. Badai Neko no Tamasan. It's a hentai, folks. An episodic one at that. Boo, but a kind of neat that runs a bathhouse for his uncle or something. It's like a 4. Art was good. Tried to find other manga by that mangaka, but just wasn't it. Barrage. One of the earlier manga by the MHA mangaka, is a pretty okay battle shonen, average. Maybe slightly above average. Maybe not. Yeah. What battle shonen do I have at like a 5 or under? I mean, I liked it probably more than Blue Box. So I'll give it like a 9 point or a 5.5. Wow, no, not a 9. Jeez, craziness. Kind of wondering what is up next. A lot of things are ending soon. I don't know, but I wanted it to be a good battle shonen, but it's not going to be. They don't seem to have that orientation towards battle shonen like they once did. All I'm saying is the manga's gonna look a little wary when JJK and One Piece wrap up. I think Sakamoto Days is a great manga, but it doesn't have the momentum behind it to really be like the face of Shonen Jump, right? So I don't know what's next for Shonen Jump. It's really, once we lose One Piece, once we lose JJK, once we lose Black Clover and MHA, like it's gonna be a scary, scary time for Shonen Jump. Hopefully it can kind of land something interesting in the meantime. But those manga are all ending very soon, next couple of years. This is gonna be the big ending to a lot of these kind of big battle shonen. Oh, Chainsaw Man Part 2. But Chainsaw Man Part 2 technically isn't even running a weekly Shonen Jump, so like what is going to be the face of weekly Shonen Jump? I don't know, stay tuned. Beck, 10. One of my all-time favorite manga. Top 5, easy. Probably top 3, I don't remember anymore. Believers, another one of Yamamoto's kind of strange little manga about these kind of 3 people in a cult. And he just does a great job kind of landscaping the fullest extents of their beliefs in this cult, the kind of questioning that arises, the kind of infighting. It's very much based, I believe, on the Jonesville genocide. Was it Jonesville? Where they had their little community out in the woods and they got found out, so the kind of ringleader convinced them all to drink the cyanide and the Kool-Aid. That's the one. Anyways, it's brilliant. 9. When he's good, but when he's bad, he's bad. I mean, I suppose you could say that for a lot of people, but Yamamoto especially. Beck is amazing. Well said. Have you read Mirai Nikki? I haven't, but I kind of want to because I'm a big Mirai Nikki like anime lover. Like I believe it or not, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, that anime would have been my top 10. I loved it. I thought it was freaking cool. But I'd love to re-experience the story, so I might read the manga eventually. It's one of the few things that I've truly hated, but I actually stuck through and finished. Yeah, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate it. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. They always explain it to me, but I guess I just kind of repress it because I want to just live in my world where everyone agrees with me. It was mass suicide? Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, that's kind of the inspiration behind Believers. Brilliant. Very brilliant take on it all. Want to redo my manga list now, too? Yeah, you should. You can play my stream in the background, or you can not. Your call. Your call, buddy. Bibliomania. Why did I read this? Why did I read this? Did I read this because of inks? Might have read it because of inks. Oh shit, we gotta update that. Dude, stunning art, dude. There's just some panels in here that like compositionally like blow me away. The way that they play with kind of perspective, the different compositions of the figures versus the background. It's very visually beautiful. I think it's a cool concept. It's a really fun world. I just don't know if it brings. I don't know if it goes far enough. You know, I'll probably give it a 7 though. I think this is quite a solid manga all around. Watch you, Daddy, then I'll redo. Very good. Good job, son. I despise Yukitira. Tiru. I don't remember the name, bro. Which is funny because I love Shinji. They're both so similar, but the difference is so fundamental that I can't like Yuki. That I understand. They're definitely drawing upon the same archetype, but Shinji does it in a much more profound way than I think Yuki does. I want to make a manga list, but I feel like it would last for hours. I mean, probably will, but I think it's rewarding to have like a kind of index of everything you've read and your thoughts on it at some moment in time. Black Torch, just another forgettable battle shown 5.5. Bleach 9. Maybe once the 1,000 Year Blood War arc anime comes out and kind of remedies some of the problems with that arc, my love for this will kind of re-engage. But I've been kind of like falling off of Bleach recently. I kind of reflect on it and it doesn't grip me in the same way that it once did. I'm not going to launch the same old critiques that it's repetitive. I don't think that's true. It's just one of those things that lost its hold on me, which is pretty remarkable because it was very high on my top 10 for a long time. It still is. I think it's still probably top 25. So it's not to say I dislike it. Maybe I just need something to revitalize my love for it. See, I still a high score either way. I love Bleach. Yeah, Bleach is great. I don't know. I guess I want more from it. Give us the anime now. I think that'll change. That'll change things, but for a while, what I was really fighting was whether JJK or Bleach is better, and I'm always back and forth on the question. I think for some people it's clear. For some people, Bleach is the clear winner. For other people, JJK is the clear winner. Like Creams makes a compelling case that kind of JJK is a kind of a refined version of Bleach. Kind of cuts all the fluff, gets to the core of it, more thought out, carefully, sort of deal. I can kind of see that at times, but I feel like there's just the kind of emotional investment I have in Bleach at times that I don't think JJK even comes close to reflect, to captivating or capturing. I do agree that Bleach can be clumsy at times. I think that there are a lot of blunders on the side of Kubo, but I don't know. Like when it comes down to which is better, it's very difficult for me to tell whether I like Bleach or JJK more. Now, obviously, that's not being reflected in the fact that I gave. Or obviously, that's not clear given that I've only given this a 9, or blah, that I've given JJK a 9. Whoa! I gave JJK an 8 and this a 9, so obviously it would seem that this is the clear winner, but I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. I read it and there was like a lot of I liked, but there's just a bunch where I feel like Kubo dropped the ball. Like most of the anger are wasted characters to me, like 7 out of 10 don't do much. Well, that's the biggest thing for me. Bleach is so oversaturated with characters that I just feel like there's not enough screen time to develop them all adequately, and I think that is the case for 70% of characters. You meant a wrong car? That's fair. But like, in general, like, the Gote 13 could have been like the Gote 6, and I think it would have been much better to see like those 6 characters developed more depth. I don't know which 6 you'd pick, but I'm sure there's 6 you can pick out. But the fact that there's 13 squads, 13 captains, 13 first lieutenants, 13 like first chairs, like there's so many characters already just in the Gote 13. Not to mention you have Ichigo, Chad, Uryu, Orihime, Rukia, right? The 5 main cast. And then you just have like all the Iranka, you have Aizen and his goons, you have all, you know, all the Espada. Like there's just so many damn characters. And then we get the war arc where like there's just characters coming in and out from everywhere and nowhere at once, doing nothing. Like why were the Fullbringers there? They contribute like close to nothing. Obviously they had important roles in terms of the actual world of Bleach, but in terms like from the reader's perspective, you could have wrote them out. Like they didn't have to be there. It was just so much oversaturation. You cut back on all that, I think Bleach is a clear like 9.5, 10. I think it's probably a 10. Another thing that holds it back for me are the fights. Now I know it does quite well in terms of like the emotional side of fights, but like I just can't help but to notice the lack of choreography. It has some great fights. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Ichibei versus Yuhaba one of my favorite fights in the manga. There's actually some strategy going on. But, you know, I'm just so spoiled because Naruto has the best fights in all of manga by a landslide. So I want that from everything. I can't get that from everything. And I acknowledge that. I shouldn't hold Bleach to the unreachable standard of Naruto. It's still good. It's still a 9. I think I like it more than JJK. This score is cementing that. Hit save. To be honest, as much as I like JJK, it doesn't hit for me until the backstory arc. Yeah, I agree. I think it's like an average battle shonen up until that arc. I don't know. I like how vast the cast is. That may be me, but I'm also a big fan of epics too. That could be the case. Because I have the same feeling towards One Piece. One Piece has too many characters. But at least I think One Piece does a good job building the lore behind some of those side characters. Like, I mean, in terms of screen time, we saw like very little of Ace. But he's my favorite character. Because I just think that through seeing people talk about Ace, he's just built up in this way that when we finally see him and he delivers and he goes beyond your expectations, like, it's really rewarding. Or we hear all this stuff about like Whitebeard before seeing him. And it just makes him feel a lot bigger, even though like screen time, we don't see much of him. That's why I think One Piece actually does well. It builds up its characters well, so that even without screen time, they can succeed. I don't get that same sense with Bleach. Yes, Doofy, preach. Yo, Trigger Reviews, welcome. Quinn, it's been so long since I fell off of Twitter. Glad to have you in the chat. Yeah, yes, Doofy, preach. I was reading and I actually had to reread like 4 chapters to figure out what happened to Group Chow. Yeah! Yeah, dude, literally, Norito kind of give him down, and he just disappears. Like, we don't see what happens to him after that. Yeah, craziness, craziness. Now, despite what I've just about Bleach and One Piece, wow, I kind of just turned off for a second. I think One Piece, oh, sorry. I think Naruto kind of, because, you know, you have to address the big 3 all at once, remember that. I think One Piece, I think Naruto runs into the same problem, especially post-time skip. You know, a lot of the Konoha 9 or 11 or however many there are, they're just getting ignored. Everyone acknowledges that. I would have liked to see more out of them. But that's okay. I'm okay with cutting out those characters. Because at least in Naruto, all the characters that need screen time, or that I want to have screen time, get their screen time. So, we ball. Blue Spring. This was the first where I read Taiyo Matsumoto. I read it on the recommendation of Code Provider back in 2014. It's kind of like a delinquent collection of short stories. It's fun. I feel like Taiyo Matsumoto's artwork, I mean, it's 1 volume. It's just more Taiyo Matsumoto greatness. But the story itself is nothing remarkable. Again, short stories. I personally don't have that much of an affinity towards short stories. Even like Asano, whom I'm heavily sympathetic towards. It's like, you know, I meet my wit's end eventually. But we're not talking about Asano. Matsumoto, 6 out of 10. This is a Suya hentai. Give it a 3. Suya doesn't have like amazing art, but he's got a unique style, and I really like that style. So, okay. I forget what this one's called in English, but I'm not gonna even attempt to butcher Japanese. The Summer of I, Me, and Mama. Surprisingly profound in the end. Surprisingly profound. It's short. It's 1 volume, 7 chapters long. Okay. I even wrote a note here. The final chapter was surprisingly great. Because there's just this moment of beautiful, like, self-reflection where the protagonist is kind of like, guys, I swear, this one, it's absolutely for the plot, without a shadow of a doubt. Because, like, the protagonist is just coming to terms with the fact that he's committing, like, he's doing a shitty thing. He's just doing a shitty thing. He recognizes it. He recognizes his girlfriend's doing a shitty thing also. And he just doesn't really address it. Like, he's just kind of there sitting, stewing, reflecting on, like, I'm still doing it. Like, I don't know. The way that it's articulated. Yeah, Slank, read this one. Because this one's, like, actually good. For 1 chapter. 6 out of 10. You gotta love how, like, I'll gas up something like, The Summer of Me, Myself, and Ma, or whatever. Like, I'll gas this up. Where is it? I've lost it. Yeah, I'll gas this up. And I'll give it a 6. And then, like, what? I'll shit talk Bleach. I don't think I really said much positive about Bleach, and I'll give it a 9. So, I mean, it's interesting how we approach things in life. Bokura no Fushidara. This one had an interesting concept. I think, like, a devil comes to this girl, and it's like, oh, you can have these powers if you do whatever. I don't know. It didn't really do much with that power. It's also, I think, an adult manga. No, it's not. Or it is, I don't know. It's like a 3.5, you know what I mean? It's like whatever. Boy Meets Maria. This one has a lot of buzz. I thought it was okay. If you're watching this, I'm sorry, Rose, but it's just like it's solid. Candy Flurry, that's the one I was trying to say earlier. I wanted it to be good. I wanted it so bad to be good. I thought the candy concept was really fun, but it just took it nowhere. Got axed. What could I say? I'll give it a 3.5. Because it's better than Ayashimon. I don't want to put it on the same scale Ayashimon, but it's parallel to Duran, I think. Both have interesting concepts, but do nothing with them. So I think the 3.5 is justified. Captivated by You, I bought this like blindly. It was like, alright, it's like a 6. You got me in a reading mood. Think I might try another manga out. Nice. Caterpillar Girl and Bad Texture also picked this one up blind. It's just like a whatever kind of like drama. Children. I think Crash recommended this to me. We were doing the Seinen tier list, and I kind of wanted to like read some of his, and he wanted to read. Well, he was reading a lot of the ones I had on there, so I thought it was only fair I read one. I think Noob read it, hated it. I don't know. Think Promised Neverland, but like if they had knives and were violent children. I liked it. 7. City of Light. A collection of short stories by my man Inyo Asano. Children was okay. I liked it. I don't know. I liked it. For those who have read it, what would you give Children? Okay, City of Light. This was... I have to remember which short stories are in it. Taco P was better than Children? Really? I guess so. Yeah. That's fair. I might readjust my Children take. I don't know. 6.8? What was y'all's problem with it? If you don't mind me asking. I don't know what's at issue here. City of Light. Which short stories were in this one? Is this the one with the like in the boat that's swimming? Oh yeah, this one right here actually. This was good. This was a good short story collection. I don't think it's best, but it's a good one. So as far as short stories collection, it's quite nice, but still only a 7, I think, all around. Claymore, unbelievably underrated. Excellent battle shonen. Amazing world building, like no other. Just love all of the lore behind the organization and the Yoma. Such an incredibly vast world. Some genuinely mind-blowing moments. 8.5. Children said literally nothing profound. It just tried to have shock value. But what's wrong with that? I mean, there's a whole genre literally literally just premised on shock value, like Uroguro, largely, you know. Shintai Kago Shintai, I don't remember his name, but he's a little more critical of the genre and has some kind of like commentaries on it, like while participating in the genre. But by and large, like it's literally just like it's shock value, but there's interest to be generated in how one chooses to depict things visually. So from a composition standpoint, some of these things can be more admired. But I don't think just something being shock value or doesn't have like a greater overall message isn't a negative thing. Should I guess hate shock value and that's it? Well, that's fair, but like, you have to understand, even for things that are shock value, there's more to it than just the shock value, right? I mean, art, composition, those things matter. I mean, unless you don't value those, in which case, I mean, go off, King, but... I guess I was kind of stirred by the events that took place, but it wasn't bad. I like that. I kind of like manga that can make me feel, even if it's a negative feeling, because I think you have to put some thought into doing things that would provoke such a feeling. Cutie Honey by the mangaka of Devilman. Just a fun little battle shonen. Very inoffensive. And because I'm very sympathetic to that like 70s art style, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I think there was a whole arc where like a character's whole shtick was that he had hemorrhoids. It was very, very strange. Very much a different type of shonen comedy. Nah, bro, I don't value it for that shit. When I care what composition I'm talking about something completely different. Like, what do you mean though? Composition just kind of means one thing, the way things are composed. Alright, then we just have 2 short story collections by Tatsumi, one of the fathers of Gekaga. I think they're both solid. This is actually an instance where I think the short story medium works to their advantage, because they're really just trying to depict the ordinary, and it's really through like the subtle manipulation of things that they kind of insert the commentary. Or kind of just not even insert a commentary as much as sometimes just wanting to reflect kind of like the post-war Japan and really putting out the kind of struggle that a lot of these people were having as they transitioned to the more industrial period, especially still coping with kind of the crimes of war and whatnot. Both very well done. Both great collections of short stories. This was another hentai. Something about a brother, apparently. 3.5 is a comfortable number for most of these, to be honest. Some of them really know how to set themselves apart, but others don't. I give them a 3.5 because I still think they're all better than Ayashimon. Alright, the Darker Than Black shoujo manga. I don't feel like it contributed anything to the Darker Than Black world, which is a world I'm very invested in and love. Unfortunately, this shoujo manga just doesn't add anything to it. It just kind of feels like a filler event that could have happened in the middle of the first season. I'll still give it a 6 though because it's Darker Than Black, so we move. You can call composition, we can talk about the exact choice of framing of an image, and I don't give a shit for any framing within children. Nothing stands out. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I thought the composition was kind of interesting, though, of certain panels, especially like how they would exaggerate the kind of psychotic look in the children at times. I'm here for it, but... Darker Than Black, Shikaku no Hana. Now, this is the true successor to the Darker Than Black. This should have been Season 2. Now, I like Season 2, don't get me wrong, but this would have made a much better season. I think this really does add meaningful contributions to the world of Darker Than Black. Kind of explores more of the power system a little more, gives us more info into the world itself. It has something meaningful to say about Darker Than Black. I really like it. 8.5. For a long time, this was my top 10 actually. This was like a 9 out of 10 manga for me. 9.5, but just as I distance myself from Darker Than Black, the more distance I am from the manga. Should I read or watch Darker Than Black? Well, both of the mangas are sequels to the original anime, so you would have to understand the manga, you'd have to watch the anime first. I'm a big fan. Darker Than Black is one of my favorite anime of all time. I think it's even in my top 10 anime still. Again, largely because I'm nostalgic towards it. I rewatched it a lot. It always reminds me of the fall when I first got big into anime in the high school for the first time since I was a child. But I think it's really terrific. My favorite soundtrack in all of anime, even more than Bleach. Just check out some of the tracks on Darker Than Black. It's brilliant. You're way too close to the path. Itagak. What? I don't know what you're saying. Framing at gush. Framing to gush at. School live. Holding on stuff that doesn't show the action of the scene. Just letting us process what's happening. Thought. And amazing quick cuts. I mean, I would say the same thing about Eva. The scene with Shinji holding Kaoru. That's exactly how what that scene functions. So that's, we're just listing off examples of things that we like. Something that I think is comparable to what you're saying. I'd put Ava in that ring. I don't know. I don't think that you feel the same. Dead Demons Destruction. Children had nothing. It has cool shot fish. The guys literally something had nothing impressive. Nah. I think you're walking L today. Dead Demons. I didn't like the ending. All right, I didn't like it. It's still a 9 though because it's Sano and he's a goat. Dead Wonderland. I honestly would even put it higher. I know it's fun to hate on Dead Wonderland for being like edgy shonen. It's very pirate dynamic of like the early 2010s, but like, dude, I don't care. Okay, this shit was cool. What an amazing power system that actually had really nice like limits. For one, using blood as a power is really interesting. Okay, it's cool the way they manipulate the blood in different ways. I thought it was always fun to figure out how the next person would use their blood. However, it's nice that they all have a natural limit because you only have a finite amount of blood in your body. Also, again, the whole idea like being locked in this prison for a thing that he didn't even do, forced to fight in these little death games. So cool. But the manga, I think, what I like most about Dead Wonderland is the stuff that happens after the anime when they try to escape and the kind of like that final battle, some of the twists at the end. It's quite good. I'm a big fan of Dead Wonderland. But I'm only going to give it an 8 because I do think it's not nearly as... Well, I don't think it's as good as D. Gray Man or Claymore, like some of those other battle shown. I've given 8.5, but... I never hated an anime ending more than Dead Wonderland. Yeah, the anime ending was quite miserable, but the manga does take it in a different direction. If I can have some praisable framing for sure. I don't care for the show, but I had a couple of shots I like. The long shot of Shinji in bed, probably my favorite. Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. Dead Wonderland was my second or third manga. The concept was very cool and escaping was a lot of fun. Although the end was a little meh. Really? I really liked the end, like the final fight between you know who and you know who. I thought it was really cool. It was like some really great panels of like them in the sky, and it's kind of just the silhouette because the moon's behind them. It's a, you know, it's a cliche, but it's one that I'm very sympathetic to. Quinn, what would you give Deadman Wonderland? I'm curious, actually, since it's like an older manga for you. That's some good piss water. Death Face. I think this was actually bad. 7-8ish, yeah, fair. I mean, Deadman Wonderland to me is really like in the same group of like those kind of 7-8ish like battle shonen. Like I'd put like Blue Exorcist and Black Cat, all those kind of shows together in that little box. But I do think that Deadman Wonderland's kind of like on the top of it. Maybe I need to reread it. I don't know. The mangakas have a new manga coming out, I believe. But I kind of want to finish Smoke and Parade first. Something that I kind of enjoyed. Alright, I'm heading out for a job run. Maybe back if it takes forever. That's so sad. See you, noob. Only watched the anime for it, though. I heard the manga is much better. The manga is much better. As is... Well, there's this, like, massive period. I think almost for the entirety of, like, anime history. There's this tendency to adapt these, like, ongoing manga into either 12, 13 episode seasons that were either, like, 1 or 2 seasons long. And because it was adapting ongoing manga that were popular and wanted to capitalize on that, it would always give it just a filler ending. So like it could just kind of, you know, it can be like a solid package that I can present to people and then, you know, kind of get people into the manga that was ongoing, right? But that was an awful approach to anime because so many great manga were turned into subpar anime with less than satisfactory endings, such as Deadman Wonderland, such as Black Cat. Also, I mean, I actually like the ending to the Blue Exorcist anime, and I like that they ended up just going back and adapting more of the manga, but I think some people would put it in that category of kind of just got like the 2-season treatment with a filler ending and thrown it to the side. That sucks. I like now what our approach is. You know, JJK season 1, we're gonna do X amount of the manga. We're just doing the manga. We're gonna wait until more manga develops. Put it on pause. Okay, here's season 2. We're gonna get this far in it. Then we're gonna put it on pause. No filler ending. I like that. Same with MHA. Like I just think the way that we're like Tokyo Revengers 2, the way that we're approaching adapting anime now is much healthier. Though I can't, like, you know, I can't help but to miss some of that filler ending. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to just have, like, the kind of alternative scenario sometimes. Because what? At worst, you don't like the filler ending, you should ignore it and read the manga? Okay? Is that such a crime? At best, you actually like it, and that's more to cherish. That's kind of me with Blue Exorcist. I mean, if you dislike the Blue Exorcist Season 1 ending, I mean, okay, it sucks, whatever. But you can ignore it and then read the manga. But I happen to like the filler ending, so there was just more for me to love then. So it's a win-win. So I do kind of miss that old approach. But I understand, like, I am happy that we're just getting more manga adapted. Whereas with the Blue Exorcist thing, it's not obvious that it'll ever get the chance to have more adaptations. Now with Blue Exorcist, they happen to be able to adapt more of the manga because the ending didn't contradict anything. But something like Black Cat, that's not going to happen. Yeah, the days of continually creating episodes might be over. I think, yeah, isn't Black Clover kind of like the last truly long-running anime? And isn't that over? Or is it coming back? I don't know. I'm not in the loop on Black Clover, but... okay, 3.5. I actually think this might be... Yeah, I don't know. 3.5. It's edgy, so it's slightly better than Ayashima, which is just too safe. You know what I mean? That's kind of like my mental divide here. It just came back. Oh, nice. Okay, what do we have about Beyond 5? Okay, random hentai. Kind of hentai. Yeah, Candy Flurry. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. Death Note, another really great shonen. 8.5. Despite what people say, I still don't think that the second half of Death Note fell off. I thought it was great. How the fuck do I don't really remember the Death Note short stories that well. Should give it a 6, I guess. The 4-panel comics, I mean, the 4-panel comics, but it's Death Note, you know, give it a 5. Devil Ecstasy, more Oshimi weirdness, dude. More Oshimi weirdness. I think the first panel of this one is just like a guy being scared of his cousin's boobs. So, you know, very typical Oshimi. This one's slightly interesting, though, because it's like, there's this hotel in which people can go to get service. But, like, everyone's been dying who goes there. And it turns out that there are a bunch of succubus that run it, and he's just trying to get to the bottom of it, and he gets the help of another succubus. I don't know, it's so like bizarre that I love it. I'll give it a 7.5. That's just that's classic Oshimi for you. I just think that people didn't like Nier a lot, so they felt disappointed. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sympathetic. I think that Death Note could have been stronger. No, I disagree. I disagree. Because I know he wanted it to end at L's death. Like, Oba and Obata wanted it to end there, but they were pressured by editors to keep it going. I think that's reflected in the quality. Most people would agree. But I think that Mello and Nier contribute, like, something positive and fresh to the whole Death Note universe. Because obviously people are quick to write off Nier as just an L copy. But I actually like the take of L from Nier's perspective because of how cocky and young and inexperienced he is. I think that's a different angle that we don't see with L because he is more experienced and he is kind of the professional. And so I just like that we have that dynamic, which is then kind of mellowed out with, well, Mello, who's much more erratic, but I think in his, you know, manic episodes yields, or at least brings about certain events that can give Nier the material he needs to kind of solve the case, but something he couldn't have done on his own. I don't know. I also like the focus on Mikami near the end. I thought it was interesting. Again, just seeing the Death Note transfer around. I'm here for it. I don't think it's nearly as good as the first half, but I just think it's good. I think the first half is like a 9, the second half is like an 8. Balances out to an 8.5. Also, what did you drop, Quinn? I feel like you dropped the last thing that I brought up, but oh, Devil Ecstasy. Yeah, you were kind of going through some of the Oshimi library, right? So you dropped Devil Ecstasy. What was your issue with it? I feel like Nier and Mello are two halves of a whole. Exactly. Is the least intelligent most active, and Nier might be the most intelligent but least active. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. I think it's nice to see that kind of dynamic played out and how they can come together to defeat Light in the end. Devil Ecstasy, yeah. I figured. Sag. Devilman? Or just Devilman? Honestly? Devilman was like badass. I think it has a bit of difficulty in the beginning picking up the pace because it's very Monster of the Week kind of thing. But like once it gets the wheels rolling and you get to the end and you get like this battle between like the devils and the devilmen, like it is awesome. Like it is such a big fun world. The final fight, it's just awesome. But I do think it's held down by a lot of that first half. Regardless, I think I can confidently give this an 8.5. I think Devilman is great. Excellent manga. And L is the ideal combination of both. Yes, absolutely. I liked reading through the Oshimi works, but I can only do a little weird. I can only take a little weird at a time. Okay, that's totally understandable. Doki Korin is a... Got a little tired of it, that's fair. Doki Korin is a Furuya short story collection, I believe. Yeah, Furuya. Collecting 6 years worth of column ran in the pages of serial novel and cultural critique magazine Da Vinci since 1997. Donkey Korin employs a unique structural format. On the right page of every spread is a short essay sent in by a reader chosen by Furuya, and on the left page is a 4-panel comic drawn by Furuya relating to the essay. Yeah, I thought it was just a cool concept. But obviously they're like 4-panel whatevers. They're not very substantive, so there's not a lot to rate there. It's even worse than a short story, if you can believe that. But because of the kind of, like the concept, I think concept carries here. And Furuya, I just think is an interesting mangaka. I can give this probably a 5.5. Oh, Doku to Tatawa. This is the Gambare Doki. Is it? What is it? Gambare Doki-chan or something? I don't know. And then Tatawa on Monday. Crossover manga. Yeah. Gambare Doku-chan. Doki-chan. And Tatawa on Monday. It's just like a cute, wholesome interaction between two cute, wholesome characters. But it's like not very substantive. Give it like a... I gotta give it a 5.5. Slightly above average, methinks. Okay, Downfall. Okay. Oshimi the GOAT for this one. 9. I frequently speak highly of this for a good reason. Dream Toy Factory. A Uroguro. One of my first, actually, so I was very shocked when I first read it. 10 on Downfall? Peak Fiction? Yeah, no, I'm here for that, honestly. I need to reread some of these. I hesitate to give 10s to something so short, But a reread could change my perspective on that. The Dream Toy Factory, I'll give it a. I didn't know what Uroguro was when I first read it. I remember on my old channel I made a video called "The Most Effed Up Manga Ever" because I had no idea that this was a whole genre. But now that I understand the purpose of Uroguro, I can appreciate this a little more. But I don't know how I can square that with, like, how do I compare this to, say, like an average battle shonen or like an average hentai? Like, how does that fare amongst these categories? Because, like, I'm thinking like the average hentai so far is probably around like a 3-4. The average battle shonen's like a 5-6 kind of area. I don't want to just keep giving things 5, but like, it's kind of like feeling like a 5 to me, folks. Drifting Net Cafe, I'm a fan. I think a 4.5, I'm fine. Yeah, that's fair. Drifting Net Cafe, I like. Do I like it at an 8? I just thought it was like interesting to see Oshimi not focusing on that kind of very strange Freudian psychoanalysis sexual angle as much. Obviously, the whole premise of this is the guy goes to this cafe because he's kind of like his marriage with his wife is kind of like in a weird spot. He goes there, he sees a girl that he used to have a crush on, you know, kind of ruminates on it, and then some weird mysterious stuff happens. It's fun. There is obviously some attention to the sexual aspects, but it's not nearly in your face as some of his other works, and I quite like that. I'd give this an 8, I think. Bota Bota, by the mangaka behind Beastars. Good manga. Though to me, 7 though? I mean, it's fun, but it's essentially doing like the Freudian expresses emotions sexually, but like using, you know, the bleeding nose gimmick. However, because the bleeding nose gimmick has very different consequences than the sexual one. It's a little more extraordinary in the sense that, like, she just has to escape situations because of the profuse bleeding, and it actually stops other situations entirely, and it just creates more interesting scenarios, I suppose, than just the kind of Freudian, I'm horny because I'm frustrated about my life. But I don't know if it was that. I'll give it a 6.5. Beastar 7 out of 10. It's like the Dam of Paru's catalog. I don't know what that is. You mentioned this twice now, and I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, this was sometimes I go in manga decks and I just sort by like completed and like by length, and I kind of go for like shorter manga, and this was like a 1-volume thing. It's like a prequel to a game. I read it. I don't know why I read it. I lack the context of the game to understand it, why this prequel is good. It's 3. It's actually probably like a 2.5. I think it's pretty bad. Where are we? I must remedy my wrong. Yeah, I think I'd even take Ayashimon over this one. Doesn't ish me. Par Itagake is the manga of Beastars and Bota Bota. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize. Elfen Lied, I always compare it to junk food or like fast food. I like it though. I'm giving it an 8.5. I normally would only give it an 8. And there's a lot of issues here. It's definitely one of those manga that can be charged with being edgy for the sake of being edgy. But I'm so interested in the world. I'm so interested in the Diclonius. I'm so interested in like that underground grotto. And I'm sure some things aren't fleshed out as much, but like, I'm into it, okay? I'm into it. It's got some amateurish art at times, sure. It's got a very underdeveloped romantic subplot, sure. But I'm here for Elfen Lied, dude. I don't know what to say. Like, it just feels epic at times. Even on Wanderer, give it a 7.5. It's not my Imenon. That's not my Imenon, dog. Episode 1, I'll give it a 7. Fully Cooley. The manga, though. I think the manga was okay. I think what makes Fully Cooley so great is that it's very clearly a reflection of just like a bunch of cool things that the director liked. And so it's very personal. It feels like it has his hand directly involved in it, and so everything's kind of crafted around his personality. That's absolutely absent in the manga. And so that just kills like what makes Fully Cooley enjoyable. Have you read 01 by the creator of Gaunt's? I have not. I haven't read anything by the creator of Gaunt's, unfortunately. Though I do, like I said earlier, I own the first 2 omnibus, and once I get home, I hope to kind of go out and read that. G, definitely the better of the Koiki manga that I've read, but still only 6.5. I think it could probably be analyzed into something more profound, but on my assessment, it's just visually cool. Garden, one of Furuya's collections of short stories and whatever, 5.5. Genshiken, viciously underrated. He says as he gives it a 6.5. I'm sure the average score's higher. I don't know. It's a very fun slice of life. I would have. It's something I read during like in 2014 during like my peak of interest in battle shonen. So for me to get, I'm gonna give it a 7 even, maybe a 7.5. I really enjoyed Genshiken. I thought it was such a fun manga. I'll give it a 7. Meet each other in the middle. Gone. It's whatever. It's just visually cool. I mean, this is like the closest to like realism I guess one could get. There's some fun adventures. It's just, I don't know, 6. Gon Selection was definitely better. Like, it kind of cut out a lot of what felt like the filler adventures, but I'm still only going to give it a 6 because I don't think it peaks like anything. Good Night Pun Pun is a 10. Asano's masterpiece. Still is. Got a Room. This was, I think, my first pornwa. I thought it was great. Give it an 7.5. It still has like my favorite art of every pornwa I've read, I think. Gunmania, I think I read because of Tayo. It's by the creator of Hellsing. It's fun, it's crude, it's, you know, a product of its time in every sense of the word. I'll give it a 5.5. Another one of Suya's manga. This one was slightly more palatable than some of the other ones. I didn't vibe with Pun Pun, though I know I'm in the minority. That's becoming more and more a majority opinion, I'm finding. Like, it's becoming more common to, like, kind of crap on Pun Pun. Not crap on it. I'm not saying you're crapping on it, but like I'm not vibing with it at least. And hey, that's fair enough. It was just one of the few manga though to like really impact me, like emotionally, which is something that most manga don't ever do. But I'll spare you. Like, I mean, everyone raves about Pun Pun, so I'm not gonna just contribute to that. But just know I have the love for it. Hajime is a very, very solid 2-chapter, essentially one-shot by Obata. I wish I had more time to like flesh out more, but this was excellent. This could have, like, with more time, this could have like been an 8+, but it's 2 chapters. What can you do? Half and Half. 9.5? Yeah, we'll go 9.5. Half and Half is much like 3 Days of Happiness, which some of you might know. It's like a short drama that invokes a kind of sci-fi principle to create more unique interactions. And I think it's in those unique interactions that the manga really shines in creating this this love dynamic that just is so infectious, very easy to get into, and as the reader, like, I can't get enough of it. I think it gets a lot done with just the 2 volumes that it has. Do I wish it had more? I don't know. I think it ties things up rather neatly. I think I can comfortably give this a 9.5. Highly recommend it if you like 3 Days of Happiness. Happiness, probably like one of the easiest manga to read, also by Oshimi. Give it an 8 or a 7.5. I don't know. It's somewhere between there. I'll give it an 8 for now, and we'll revisit later if I don't think it sits well with the other 8s. Haru's Curse, blind buy. It was good. It's just a cool drama. I don't know what to say. Happiness was so confusing me at first. Yeah, I can get that. I just appreciate how another Suya work. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to capitalize on that kind of self-reflection that he had with The Summer of I, Me, and Mama. But I'm gonna keep reading them. Yeah, I think the thing I liked about Happiness was, one, I like the impressionist kind of influence on Oshimi's art there. That's not something that he normally does, so I was very happy to see that. It kind of distinguishes it visually from his other works. I also like how sparse the dialogue was. It just made reading it like just quick, fun in that way, which is honestly something you can say of a lot of Oshimi's works, to be fair. But yeah. But I kind of see what you mean about its confusion. Hellsing is like slowly falling off more and more every time I look at it. This used to be top 10 for me. Then it was an 8. And now I'm like thinking, is it really even an 8? I mean, again, I'm just very tired of like the World War II Nazi parallels. Like I find that uninteresting. But Hellsing is just like badass violence. Alucard's badass, like Anderson. It's got like that kind of religious imagery that I'm a sucker for. I don't know, we'll give it an 8 still. I'm still rocking with Hellsing. I have to reread it though, it's been forever since I read Hellsing. Helter Skelter I found to be a little dissatisfying. But we'll give it a 6. Because it was still solid. Hunter x Hunter, Kurapika's Memories. I actually quite like this little 2-chapter backstory into Kurapika. A character which, mind you, I didn't love at first, but he kind of grew on me. Give him 7. Had the same dream again. Something that it could have been so much better, but it just works against itself because of the fact that the ending is so obvious throughout. It doesn't do a good job at hiding it at all. I think that holds back what could have been like an 8.5, brings it down to a 7.5, because it just didn't... I don't know. I think the ending would have been better had I not known what it was, but it was just so obvious that how could you not know? It was still good though, don't get me wrong. I made my best friend shut my parents up. I'm just such a sucker for a lot of these kind of cute little Yuri adventures. 6.5. Eyes is a remarkable shonen drama. Shonen romance, should I say. I think more current Jump mangaka need to go back and read Eyes, because this does a great job really depicting how Ichibata, what's his name? Ichitada? Alright, I gotta... Where are we? Eyes. There we are. Ichitaka. I think it does a really great job playing out the dialectic ongoing in Ichitaka's brain as he tries to sort out relationships for the first time in his life, coming against another which he has certain feelings towards, trying to manage that during this time of life where you're first encountering this kind of emotion and then getting it all at once towards so many people despite knowing that that's wrong, and trying to be considerate of others and just also trying to, you know, live your best life. I don't know. It plays out that dialectic in your mind of how exactly to approach these feelings. It's very good in terms of like spelling out every step of the thought process that Ichitaka experiences. Beautiful covers. Don't be fooled though, the art isn't actually this good. But I'm a big fan of Eyes. 8 out of 10, folks. Definitely something that modern Shonen Jump authors need to go back and revisit, because it's really just an excellent shonen romance. Which isn't something I could say of most romances in Shonen Jump right now. Blue box. Alright, I'm gonna take a break just to grab a glass of water. I'll be like a minute tops, okay? A minute tops. So let's just be right back. Whoa, not a good look for me, folks. Not a good look for me. All right, what's a easy to read manga other than Happiness? Well, let's find out. What do I have here that's easy to read? I mean, obviously short things are going to be preferable. If you're into those kind of drama, romance types, my easy recommendations for those in terms of what's easy to read would be something short like Half and Half, okay? 2 volumes, not too text heavy. We haven't gotten there yet, but also... Shit, where is it? Yeah, it hasn't loaded in yet, but 3 Days of Happiness would also fit that bill, in my opinion. If I can find it. I can't find it. Where is it? Where is it? Am I just missing it or something? It's not on my list. Anyways, 3 Days of Happiness would be another one. I think it's 3 volumes long, maybe? It's a pretty quick read. For something a little longer, I think The Girl from the Other Side is a little sparse on dialogue. I might be wrong though. It's been a minute. But a lot of Oshimi's works are like that though. You can also probably read Welcome Back Alice. It's ongoing, 24 chapters or 26 chapters. Not a lot of dialogue. Same with Blood on the Tracks, 125 chapters. Not too dialogue heavy. So most of Oshimi's catalog is like that. Maybe not Flowers of Evil. 3 Days of Happiness, Half and Half. Those are kind of my immediate recommendations for you. Yeah, I'm a fan of Inside Mari. Thank you. Yeah, oh, dude, Inside Mari's great. I loved it. Alright. We move. Imperfect Girl by the author behind Bakemonogatari. Fun fact. Apparently based on a true story. I don't know how true that is. Essentially, like, this grown-ass man gets, like, abducted by, like, this child who's very weird, very peculiar. But even though he can escape, because he's obviously a grown-ass man, he kind of chooses to stay to kind of, like, see what's going on with this girl, try to help her out a bit. Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. It's good. So a strange Yamamoto work that came out semi-recently. It's kind of... I'll give it a 4, methinks. It's better than a lot of the other hentai I've seen, but... I don't know. Inside Mari. Speaking of... I want to give it an 8. Okay, welcome back, Slinka Spot. Inside Mari, I want to give it an 8. It might go 8.5. I really liked it. I thought it had an excellent, like, kind of ending. I found it really moving, but 9.5. Honestly, yeah, I remember really. I'll give it an 8.5 for now. I was a big fan. Jiguro, a one-shot by, or one-volume manga by Urasawa, I think. Very underwhelming. 3, especially for Urasawa, of all people. Jisatsu Circle, I think, is based off a film. Is this the Suicide Cult? I don't recall. Let's find out. Yeah, it's based off a movie the same name, but like the director was kind of like, okay, Furuya, do your own thing with this. The story begins with the same opening scene where 54 girls commit suicide by jumping in front of a moving train, but one survives. So it's a great concept, and I think Furuya does a lot with it. But it just didn't go far enough for me to give it like an 8. So I'll give this a 7.5. Very, very interesting concept, though. The Suicide Club, yeah. This one here, another Furuya work. I'm a big fan of Furuya. He's one of my favorite mangaka for a reason. But again, this is a case where it's a fun concept and he does a lot of cool things with it, but not enough. I think this is the one where the teacher wants to get killed by a student. Like, that's kind of like weird fetish thing. It's very strange. 7.5. Is this the one with the 3 students and the male teacher? Let's see. Yeah, it is. Not particularly great, to be honest. Give it a 3. Oh, that's why. 3 Days of Happiness has the Japanese title here. But this would be the other short manga I recommend. 3 volumes, 18 chapters. I think 2 are like specials, so it's even shorter. I mean, while we're here, I mean, it's one of my favorite manga of all time. It's a 10 for me. I have to read the light novel. I'm sure it'll be even better. JJK 0? 7 it's another case of like the anime just does it infinitely better. I think that there are some pacing issues in the original. Some things didn't linger enough to really flesh it out in the way that I would have liked, but I think all that's better addressed by the manga or by the anime. I'll give it a 7.5. Give it a 7. Yeah, it's one volume. I mean, I love Yuta, I love Maki, so it's good stuff. But yeah, Jun, Shotaro no Fantasy World. I think this is one of the oldest manga I've ever read. 2 volumes. It's really just about this guy Jun going on a little adventure. I think it's very profound. I just don't get it because I'm not willing to put in the work to understand it. 6.5. Another hentai. JJK Zero was an interesting intro to the world. Yeah, I read it like much later. I watched it when the movie came out, then I read it, so I guess I have a different perspective on it than I think somebody who would have read that first. But it definitely contributes positively, I think, to the world. I like especially a lot of seeing a lot of ghetto there. That's one thing that I can really praise it for. But also just Yuta. Yuta's my favorite in JJK, so it was nice finally to see his origin after, like, say, the execution arc and all the stuff later on in the Culling games. K-On! The manga is surprisingly underwhelming. It's way better to me than the first chapter of JJK. I don't even remember the first chapter of JJK, to be honest. But, I mean, JJK 0 as a whole, the 4 chapters, I'm sure is better than the 1 JJK chapter. Maybe even the first few. I mean, JJK doesn't have an amazing start, but it's not awful. I think 0, though, is relatively solid. K-On! The manga, it's like just a 4-panel kind of thing. It's like cute, wholesome kind of vibes, but maybe just a 5.5. The anime just does this much better all the way. Kami no Kodomo by Kyosis, the brother-sis combo. One of my favorite manga to cite in terms of like artwork, because it just utilizes a flat perspective and like really strange figures, almost like Byzantine icons. I really love that art style. It's also just fucking weird, and I like weird. Okay, oops. I'll give it like a 7. I have to read more from them. Again, this was not read for reasons other than the plot, I promise. I'm not joking. I know you're all laughing right now, but it's only a 3. Another one of Koiki's manga. I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest. I think he's a little overrated, but you know, we move. Another fucking boring hentai. 3, we move. A slightly more interesting hentai. Plot. I promise. This one actually took like more steps to develop its relationship. I can appreciate that. Plot-wise, it was closer to what I was looking for. Knife is a short story collection by the mangaka behind The God's Lie and The Golden Sheep. Had some really good one-shots in there, but it just it's held down by some of the worst ones. I might even give it 7.5. It's actually, like, as far as short story collections go, quite nice. Some really good stories in there. Kyono Asuka Show. It's fun. It's playful. Give it a 6. Learned the hard way. Probably the second porn I've ever read. It was okay. Lucky Guy. Another pornoir. Slightly better than the last, but not as good as Is There an Empty Room or whatever it's called. And morally questionable but visually stunning. Yeah, this is really it's from the mangaka behind Eyes. It's not shonen, so it's a little more explicit, not too much more. It looks very cool. It looks very, very good. But substantively, there's not a lot there. This one here is all like pure shock value, but it's not even like interesting shock value too. A fucking not good Suya hentai also. Mashima's Heroes. I really like this because I'm just like a common DVW for pornoir. Yeah, you got me into them, bro. You're the gateway, not the gatekeeper. The gateway. Yeah, the gateway. Sorry, had to get more piss in me. Mushrooms Heroes. Yeah, I'm just a big fan of crossovers. Even though I don't particularly love, Fairy Tail, Rave Master, or Eden Zero, this was just fun to see them come together. So I can give that a 6.5, methinks. Memories of Emanon. Now this is the Emanon we know and love. 8. Maybe even an 8.5, methinks. Metamorphosis. I just think it's disgusting. We had a whole podcast segment about it, so go watch that. Mijong, I think I read on Tayo's recommendation. It was just average AF. Another Suya Suya hentai, but this one was slightly better. 4. Monster. I mean, bro, it's Monster. Pluto's better though. This was one of the first things I watched. What was the one with the Bible thumbnail? Yeah, it was the one with the Bible thumbnail. Metamorphosis is abyss fiction. This is the dynamic with Metamorphosis. I mean, there's people that think it's the worst thing ever, and people that are like, okay, there's a lot worse. I think there's truth to both sides. For me, it's just Metamorphosis particularly is drawing upon a lot of visual triggers for me. Not really triggers, but things I just find really disgusting. I remember I was sleeping over at my girlfriend's house that night, and on the way there, I was just nauseous because I couldn't get the images in the final scene out of my head. It was so disgusting. So it's just unpleasant in that sense. But I definitely think there's more violent, gross, grotesque shit out there than Metamorphosis. But this one in particular just happened to hit on the things that particularly irk me. And like Crash said, because it's a hentai, it's really not trying to say much. In any attempt it has to say something about how the main girl is treated and whatnot. It's just it's all shoved to the side because it wants to focus on the hentai part. Anyways, this right here is something I read quickly after, what was it called? Nozakiana. And I was just, somebody told me that it was similar to Nozakiana. I read it, it was not, it was very far from, and I think because of that despairency, I like this less. This is another Uroguro. I think this is by Shintai Kago. I don't remember how to say his name, bro. Mijirushi, I hate saying the name. It's a one volume by Urasawa. I thought it was solid. I mean, the Trump thing is going to be a little dated in a couple years, but for what it was still solid. Maybe a 7.5 actually. Mushishi, 8.5. Again, I think the anime is much better for this because the anime really leans into the kind of storytelling through atmosphere, which it achieves, I think, in part because of the colors that are added as well as the soundtrack. MW? The Metamorphosis is underwhelming, especially when you compare it to Girl on the Shore and how it talks about sex and substance. Yeah, exactly. Girl on the Shore has something to say about those things. Because it's also not pushing, the sex angle, because it's not a hentai, right? The erotic scenes in A Girl on the Shore aren't there for your pleasure. They're almost there for your despair, if that makes sense. Kind of the case in Metamorphosis too, but it's really trying to, play into, the hentai tropes. And, it's trying to give you something pleasurable at the end of the day, which is conflicting with its really negative message. There's no happy ending in Metamorphosis, but yeah, I don't know. MW I really liked. I might just bump it up to a 9. It's it has a problematic depiction, I think, of homosexuality, but I just think it's a good plot. So, balance out a little bit. Gotta be sympathetic. Well, not sympathetic, but we have to contextualize it in terms of when it was produced. And if anything, it's now a relic that tells us of an earlier time's ideology, and it's nice to kind of look back and reflect on that, but we don't have to accept that part is true while at the same time appreciating a good story. I don't know. That's my speech. Broken Mariko, I have a segment on Tensa's channel talking about this. 8.5. I also did a recommendation in one of my what is it called? Manga haul videos, so go check that out. There's also a really good visual novel that plays with the tropes better. Interesting. I'm still not into visual novels. I can't unfortunately I can't make that leap just yet, but maybe one day. Yeah, we can't fault older things too heavily because it was common during the time. Yeah. It's we have to be critical so as not to let those ideas live on today, but we can't let it just slide. I think it should be addressed. But I think that we have to have some level of understanding that like just given material conditions, society at the time, you know, the progress socially wasn't at the state we are now, and so we can be sympathetic but critical, I guess, is what I'm going for. Not to justify, but to understand. Exactly, that's a good way to put it. My kingdom, solid pour moi. 7? Where have I rated the other ones? Because I kind of am rating them next to each other in my head. Lucky guy in my kingdom. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. Okay, where are we? My lesbian experience. Like, I'm a big fan of these little Yuri, fun Yuri tales. I give them a 6.5. There's another one out that I've yet to pick up, but I always see it in the store. My so 6 sex diary, whatever. We'll give that also 6.5. Serious Girlfriend X. My Kingdom 7. Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. Mysterious Girlfriend X. It's interesting because it's doing the same dynamic as Nozaki Anna, Flowers of Evil, Sandome, but it's a shonen. It's a little more tapered, and so I thought that would work against it. But I was surprised to know it didn't, because it's not that exact dynamic. I had a whole Twitter thread on this, what I liked about it, what I didn't like. Frankly, I don't remember a lot of that now. So if you're interested in my thoughts on Mysterious Girlfriend X, search Mysterious Girlfriend X is Legendary. Welcome, Kobe. Yeah, if you want more of my thoughts, just search like My Name is Doofy, Mysterious Girlfriend X on Twitter. I have a few threads on like what I liked and didn't like. But I don't think it was held back by the fact that it was shonen. Whereas I think that, well, no, we'll leave it there. By the way, all I mean to say by I don't think it was held back by the fact that it was shonen, I'm not like gesturing towards any like substantial like genre tropes or whatever. I'm just talking about like, obviously if your demographic is like 18 and under, you can't depict certain things, and I think that can be a hindrance when it comes to the kind of dynamic showcase to Mysterious Girlfriend X. But I think they play with it in such a way that they don't need to kind of get more explicit, whereas others, like Nozaki Anna, had to. So I think it's good. That's all I'm trying to say there. I'm sorry, it's a strange way to say it, I guess. My brother finished the anime yesterday and he's moving to the manga. He loved it. I hope he likes the manga. I suspect that the anime is an instance of, like it's adapting a small part, then giving me a kind of filler ending. So I'll be happy to hear what he thinks about the manga. Nochomi Clips looks weird. Yeah, it is weird. It's very weird. Naraki no Futari. This is a really good manga. I did not expect to like this as much as I did. It's essentially, I think a girl like essentially blackmails a guy into being her boyfriend because she was going to say that the reason that she jumped is because he bullied her. Something like that. I don't know. I don't exactly remember the details. But it was fucking good, dude. It was fucking good. Give it a read. Naruto, the GOAT himself. We finally made it. Where's Mike Yubi at? Where's Mike Yubi at? Come on, folks. Naruto, GOAT out of 10. Say less, Rinnegan Dawn. 10 out of 10. The best piece of fiction, ladies and gentlemen, is Naruto. What's his last name? Naruto Shippuden, baby. You know it. You know it. I'll drink piss to that, baby. Yeah, I love Naruto. This should be not a surprise to anyone still here. New Devilman, unlike Devilman, is bad. Especially because of the way they printed in English. They just stuck the 5 chapters in the middle of like Devilman when they don't belong there. It's like filler. It sucks. Okay, but I still, you know, I'm still sympathetic to the art, baby. So you know, we give it a 5.5. Also because it's more Devilman. I love Devilman. I'll drink piss to that as well. Amen, Quinn. Nichihara Holograph, I need to reread it. I didn't like it when I first read it. But people are telling me I kind of got to go back. I got to go back, give it another shot. I mean, it's won an award. It's critically pretty well acclaimed. I thought it was pretentious. But who am I to say? Not just like choreographies on par with Dragon Ball for me. I've never read Dragon Ball, but to me, like Naruto is the choreography manga. Like, I don't think anything comes close. Maybe I'll read Dragon Ball and I'll have a change of mind. But Nichihara Holograph, we'll keep it as a 7 for now. Might have to change it up after, but you know how we roll. No Longer Human, the Variety Press adaptation. it's good because it's no longer human, but it's definitely among the worst of the adaptations. Same with this one. I mean, it's no longer human. It's got to be 7.5, right? It's got to be at least 7.5. It's no longer human, folks. All right, where are we? We get the... What's his name? Junji Ito version. Solid effort. I was more critical of it at first, but I do appreciate that it's of no longer human. Yeah. The best version is still the Furuya version for me. The thing about the Junji Ito version is it's more accurate to the novel. You know, it's set in the more appropriate time. I kind of like its take on the ending. But what I like about Furuya's version, which I think is an easy 10, or the novel, I'm going to read it before the manga. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But what I like about the Furuya version is he takes a more creative license here. He recontextualizes it in a kind of modern context. I think it makes it more relatable to a modern reader. I think that he does take some more creative licenses in different parts of the story that are to its benefit. That's why I still think the Furuya version reigns supreme. You know, he was great no matter the version. At the end of the day, like, the story, the foundational story is just that excellent that it doesn't matter. But I still think the Furuya version is by a long shot the best, and it's tied for, like, you know, my third favorite manga, so. Nozaki Anna, man, the more I reflect on it, the more I realize how much it shaped my taste in anime afterwards. I have to give the 9.5, okay? I don't care that it's, you know, officially classified as a hentai. This has more actual plot than almost any other drama I've rated so far on this list. It is fantastic, folks. It might even be top 15. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Nozaki Anna. I don't know. Number 6. I've read it a couple times. Oh, just the once? I thought I read it twice, but whatever. Based off a novel series, which I hope to read one day. It was the first shoujo I think I read. I didn't even realize it was shoujo. It was a yaoi too, which I also didn't realize. And so it really opened my eyes that, you know, that shoujo and yaoi can escape what a lot of people, you know, think about these genres or demographics. What's good is just it has a really interesting world. I'm really invested into the kind of main duo. It's fun. I don't know. Rich boy meets poor guy. They kind of find out the secrets of this utopian city. That's the idea. All right. See you, Quinn. It was nice to have you. Oh, so yeah, agreed. Furuya's version is supreme. How long have we been going? Boys, we've been going for like a while. I mean, we're making progress, to say the least, but like... no, this is good progress. I mean, I shouldn't shit talk. All right, we move. Not Simple. 9.5. Natsumi Ono. It's a great mangaka that is highly underrated. Not Simple is just a really fucking mind-twisting drama with some of my favorite art in all of manga. Again, just like the way that she plays with the kind of flat perspective. Very interesting composition. But narratively, I think this is already like in a league of its own. So like you get those two things together, interesting visuals and incredible drama, and I'm your man. So 1 volume, 14 chapters. Do yourself a favor, go read Not Simple. I reckon this is another shitty hentai. Opus? Satoshi Kon's big manga. Manga about mangaka. Love to see it. Onozari-kun, gag manga by Asano. Yeah, it has its moments, but it's like, you know, whatever. Pale Polo is... So I'm speeding through this, by the way, now, because I'm kind of like... I'm feeling the fatigue. I'm feeling the fatigue for talking for so long. But I kind of want to finish this in one stream. Or I don't know. What are we at concurrent viewers wise? Let me Oh goodness, I look awful. Don't mind the mess in the background. I'm moving like in a week, so I am in an interesting place in my life right now. But let's just let's see. No ping pong. I mean, we still have 9 concurrent viewers. I could probably keep this going a little longer. No. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll do a few more But what are we at? We're at like 2.5 hours. I'm an old man now, folks. I don't have the stamina I once did, but we'll do a few more. If you guys have specific manga you want me to rate, let me know, and I'll do it. Just drop by to say hello. KWE tribute. Hello. Yeah, I will reply to your email eventually, but if you just heard me or not, I'm moving in like a week, so lots to update on. And the school year has been quite hectic, so I didn't really get the chance to fully process your email, but there will be a reply in the future. I promise you. 81 Driver is the best shoujo manga. Interesting. Rate ping pong for you. Okay, this can all be done. This can all be done, folks. Okay, Polypolo. I did hear you. I'm on a vacation in New Brunswick in a couple of days. Oh, nice. Well, I hope you enjoy that. You weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I assume, but I submitted my master's thesis today, so things are kind of wrapping up for me in this chapter of my life. So things I expect to calm down for a bit. I'm going to take a bit of a extended vacation once I return home, so I'll have more free time. No responsibilities. Yeah, thank you. So I'll be in touch sooner than later. Okay. Polypoly is, you know, in Bakuman, there's like the one guy that makes a manga, having never read a manga. He just kind of picks it up on the train and he's like, I could do this. This is literally that manga. This is Furuya's first manga that he had written, having no experience of reading any manga. So if you want to see like a complete newcomer's take on manga, this is just interesting for that. However, it's like a 4-panel, whatever they're called. It's okay. But it's just, again, concept carries, so I'll give it a 5.5. Pictorial Book of Sound, I remember being like a pretty disappointing music manga. Give it a 4. Ping Pong, oh my god, you're right. Here it is. Ping Pong is a 9.5 for me, buddy. I hope you're happy. I'm very like sacred with my 10 out of 10, so that's why I'm not so willing to just dish out the 10, but it's definitely something that I might have been a little critical about when I first read, but after stewing on it and stewing on it and stewing on it, like it's slowly working up. I actually want to watch the anime because I like how dedicated it is to recreating the art style. I remember I rewatched, I think, the last episode of the anime just to kind of relive the ending of the manga because we were going to talk about it on the podcast, and it was very moving, like emotionally. What's your favorite sports manga / anime? It's gonna be Ping Pong. I haven't read a lot though, so I'm not like the person for that. Please rate Vinland Saga. I only I started Vinland Saga back in 2013, and I read up until the farm arc because once you know who dies and the pacing changed in the farmland arc, I didn't like it as much. I gave the prologue though a 9 out of 10, so there's that. I do hope to actually continue on with Vinland eventually. Yeah, I do hope to continue on with Vinland eventually. Like, I'm probably going to watch Season 1 and Season 2, and then maybe continue with the manga once I get more time in my life, but, I think now that I've matured a little more, I'm more open to the kind of tone switch in Vinland Saga, and I'm ready to experience all that extra goodness. Okay, how do you feel about Eden? Eden is an Endless World? I've only read the first volume, but it was really excellent. So there's not much for me to say right now, but I was very happy with that first volume. I own, I think, the first 7, so I'll read those and jump into the scans eventually, but yeah. Pink is something that is something that is heralded as a kind of profound critique of capitalism. I just didn't do the work to get that critique, and I think at face value, it's just like a kind of fun, you know, josei manga. 6. Plastic Girl, another one of Furuya's weird little collections. What I like here is the way things are presented. Like, it's not just white pages. It's like he really dresses up the panels in an interesting way. I'll give this one a 6. Pluto. We'll do 9.5. At once it was a 10, but it kind of fell off mentally for me a bit. Pokemon Adventures, Red, Blue, and Green. I'd like to read more of this eventually. It's very fun. I think it gives a different take on the Pokemon universe. I can really appreciate that as a lifelong Pokemon fan, but because of its episodic nature and it kind of skips around time quite quickly, has that kind of pacing issue, only a 6. Portis, kind of cheesy, If a cheesy horror movie was a manga, it'd be Portis. I'd go to 6.5 though. I still thought it was fun. Protect Me, Shugamaru. At one point, it was just like a fucking... Sorry, Slinkus' mom. At one point, it was just like a Yu-Gi-Oh manga. It was cool, and it had a few moments of like where it was using multimedia, kind of like, you know, real life pictures and editing them. That kind of approach to art, I appreciate. But it was just such a not good manga for most of its lifetime. I can only give it a 2.5. Another manga by Natsumi Ono. This one's slightly more underwhelming, but it's very homey feeling. It's very welcoming. Give it a 7. I'll give it a 6.5. I don't think I liked it quite that much. River's Edge, another manga by, what's her name? Quite a prolific author. Yeah, Okazaki, which I believe also did Pink and Helter Skelter. Yeah, Helter Skelter, River's Edge, and Pink. Yep. So she's a very prolific writer. She's a very smart writer at that, but just her specific kind of commentary is not something that I'm particularly interested in, and so I don't do the work to get the most out of her works. That said, I think River's Edge was actually pretty good. So 7. Rosario Vampire, I don't care what the haters say. This was such a fun manga. 7.5. Rurouni Kenshin. That's going to be a 9, my friends. That's going to be a 9. This is actually a pretty... I kind of like the Sentai. Yeah, Rurouni Kenshin is a banger. It's excellent. I'd love to reread it one day, but there's so much I want to read now that like me rereading anything is just not a possibility, to be honest. Sorry, piss break. I think I like the Sentai. Is it the one I'm thinking of? Oh yes, it's the one where she wakes up and nobody's around. I actually kind of like this one. I want to give it... I kind of want to give it a 6. I mean, this is kind of some craziness. I mean, it's averaging out at like a 55. I don't know. I kind of like this one. Sankareya also like a 7.5 for me. I really enjoyed this one. Just like a very fun manga. Oh, I don't remember this one. Peak comedy with a man with an adolescent see the wishes of women. I think I like this one actually. Oh shit. I did the big bad. I refreshed the page. But I do remember liking this one. I'll give this one a 5, I think. School Judgment. Oh my god, what a unbelievably corny manga by Obata. Give this one like a 3.5. Jeez. What a waste. Another one of those kind of Yuri. Give that a 6.5. Oops. Almost gave it a Slankus score. This was like Asano's good short story collection. 7.5. This is definitely the one I recommend the most if you want to get into Asano's short stories, but don't want to have to read some of the earlier ones that aren't as good. Seraphim Wings, again, good concept, but just doesn't go far enough. I mean, I understand the circumstances surrounding its publication, but still. Shino can't say her name. I don't really remember that well. 6. Because, you know, the Oshimi bias coming in. Shori's Diary, I don't care. I simply don't care. 6.5. I thought it was great. One of the few Suya manga that is like actually decent. Shortcuts, more weird Furuya goodness. 6.5. 5.5, I mean. Sneeze. Pretty underwhelming collection of short stories by Urasawa. I don't think Urasawa, his strong suit is not his short stories. Which is interesting because I think the thing he does best in some of his longer running manga is creating these kind of like little episodic moments and then tying that into the overarching plot. So he brings in characters and then they kind of contribute something a little bit to the plot overall, and then he brings them out never to hear them again. So it doesn't have like this kind of really grand unity, but he brings them in and takes them out so seamlessly, and it kind of keeps everything exciting. Anyway, Salonin's like a 9.5. It's probably actually a 10. I might even just give it a 10 going back, but again, I just want to hand out the 10 sparingly. Sonic comic, what an absolute nightmare. A disgrace to Sonic. Oh, I don't remember which Sonics were good anymore, actually. Shit. Short stories are very hard to immerse and conclude cleanly, yeah. I think the Gekaka short stories are very good, but they're the ones that do the best, I think. I think Asano has some good ones, but it's dicey. I'm literally just gonna copy and paste Crash's score on these because we're both Sonic fans. We have similar taste in manga. I'm gonna trust him on this one because I cannot distinguish between them. Sonic comic. I think this is the one we both hated also. Oh no, he liked this one. Maybe this was the good one. I don't remember. I'll give it a 6. I'm not feeling so crazy that I can give it a 7, dog. Come on now. I mean, just lengthwise, it is the longest. It's the most substantial of them all. Spinoza, it's like a 1-page manga, but it's got like a bunch of small panels on it. Again, by Koike. It's the first one I read by him on the recommendation of Crash also. I'm feeling a 5.5 on this one as well. Again, like, there's nothing narratively that's interesting. It's just kind of like fun playing with the visuals. This is the, what's it called? It had an anime last spring. The World Ends With You, the animation. Yeah, I read this in anticipation of the anime. It was not very good. Nothing happens. Not a thing happens, folks. Sandome, 8. You know I'm a sucker for that archetype. Okay, we're almost at the end. Can I do this? I'm really like at my wit's end right now. The World Ends With You is better as a game. Yeah, I agree. I did enjoy the anime. I think it had some pacing issues, but I actually liked how fast paced it got near the end. Visually, I thought it was cool. So definitely better as a game. Okay, Sweet Poolside, 6.5. More Oshimi weirdness. Takopi, 6.5. I mean, I have to give this a reread. I found it confusing, frankly. Again, we've talked about that on the podcast, so I'm not going to belabor it here. Another one of Suya's work. I think I like this one. Give it a 6. Extras, I'll only give a 4 though. Or I'll give it a 3.5. It's really just like another average hentai at that point. Another one of Tatsumi's Gekaka short story collections. Again, 8.5 all around. They're all good. All quite good. Just bad hentai. Again, trying to find more Nozakiana. No success there. Book of Human Insects I really liked. I'll give that one a 9. This is, I think, perhaps Tezuka's best work that I read of his. I do have to read more, though. Flowers of Evil, 9.5. Oshimi's masterpiece. The Girl from the Other Side. Second only to Mushishi in terms of generating a beautiful atmosphere. I like the way that it plays with the blacks and the whites here. The way that it mirrors kind of the parallels in the world of The Girl from the Other Side. I think above all, it just creates an interesting metaphysics. You know, the kind of lore behind the outsiders. The kind of politics involved in managing them, you might say, from the insiders. I don't know. Excellent manga, 8.5. Let's see, how long have we been going? Okay, it's not 3 hours. I kind of want it to be 3 hours. I don't think I have 3 hours in me, unfortunately. But I want to conclude the completed so bad, so we're going to power through this, folks. God's Lie. I've recently gotten into more of her works lately. She's a great author. Great author. Where is it? The Golden Sheep? 8.5. Even better. You don't have to push yourself. We can do this, Rinnegan Dawn. We can do this. Believe in the... Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you who believes in me. Horizon? I want to do a review on this. I want to write a review one day, and I'm going to talk about how shitty the Horizon is. Wow, what a generic manhwa. It's got good art. That's it. Kingdom of the Gods? It's like a 5. It's very average. Man Without Talent? It's an 8 from me, Chief. Again, more of that Gekka goodness. Time Paradox Ghostwriter, I'm still a big fan of, okay? I think it's a shame what happened to it because of the way it was received within Japan. You know, they're kind of plagiarism thing's a bit of a taboo there. Forced him to rush a lot of the middle sections, but it was a great concept. I thought it went into some pretty cool places, and that's just a shame it got axed so early. Another Suya Suya hentai, 3.5. Tropic of the Sea is like the worst well put together manga I've ever read. I think I said that in my post the other night. It's by Satoshi Kon, and you'd think it'd be good, but it's just so painfully generic. Like, not even the art is like exceptional in any way. And it's just drawing upon the classic like nature versus like civilization trope that I think is like so played out. But like if you're gonna do it, at least make it interesting. Like Believers by Naoki Yamamoto, not made interesting here. Though I have the same critique of Princess Mononoke, and I know that's not unpopular, so maybe I'm the minority on this one. Velvet Kiss, an allegedly plot-driven hentai, which was very underwhelming. 3. Vitamin, a great one-shot. Or 3-volume manga, I mean. Oops. It's like a Yuri or something. I read that very early on. I quite liked it. Voices from a Distant Star. I like it. One of... Oh, not 66. Just a 6.5. I like the manga more than the anime on this one. It's got kind of wonky art, but I enjoy it. Walk Walk, you know, it's one of those like, alright, kind of middle-aged battle shonen from Shonen Jump. I think I gave the other one like a 3.5 also, so we're gonna give it the same treatment, folks. Our Happy Hour, I'm gonna give it the 9. I was kind of wondering if I should give it the 9 or the 8.5. This still moves me, I think. If I reread it, I think I'd still feel pretty strongly about it. It's like a nice little seinen short drama. I love those, so it should be comes as no surprise. What a Wonderful World, the first collection of short stories by Osano. I think a lot of this is pre him using the kind of digital analog method for his art. So it's interesting to see that, like in terms of just understanding Asano, but you know, outside of a few of the short stories, like the titular one and the one about syrup, the rest are like, eh. They're still decent because they're Asano, but they're just like not exciting, I guess. Just like so fucking forgettable. Painfully forgettable at that. Again, like I said here, frankly, this deserves a lower score, but I can't help to appreciate the unique paneling and presentation Furuya achieves in this volume. That's how I feel about a lot of early Furuya. He just presents things very strangely, and it's that kind of presentation that I can appreciate, even if the content's like whatever. Did I score this? Oh, I did, yeah. I shouldn't refresh. Oh shit, we're at the end, folks. We're at the end. Let's fucking go. Okay. Your Name. This is just a straight downgrade from the film. I'll still give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.5 still, because it's like I like the plot of Your Name, but it's just lacking like the Radwimps soundtrack that makes the movie so good. It's lacking that kind of really bright and vibrant animation, and even the art here is like a little, dare I say, below average at times. Like it's very plain, whereas the film is just so beautiful. But I still like the plot. It's so disappointing. Yeah, a lot of people think it's one of those instances of like, it's all animation. You know, there's no substance. I don't know. I still like Your Name quite a bit, But the manga, I don't know why they did this other than just make money. Well, I guess that's it. That's profit motives. You'll have to see it. Yu-Gi-Oh! R. It's whatever. Another one of Asano's more recent works, I think. I didn't really like it as much as others. Yutai Nova. Another one of Oshimi's weird manga. 7.5, we'll say. Same with the kind of epilogue, we might call this, I guess. Then Zombie Powder. I'll give it the 6. I know it should be a 10, guys, but I'll give it the 6. Alright. I mean, I don't have any of my paused or dropped rated. I probably will go back and do them another time on another stream, but as I'm sure you can tell, I am at my wit's end here, folks. But I did it. I did exactly what I set out to do. Well, not entirely, but you know how we do it. Wow, the camera really does add 10 pounds, doesn't it? God, I'm looking so chunky here. I swear I was losing weight, but I might have fell off that path recently. I don't feel like I look this chunky in real life, though. It's gotta be the camera. Anyways, thank you all for watching, those who are still with me. mainly just running on Dawn, I suppose. It's been fun. My nice return to streaming. I expect more since I'm done with school now, so... yeah, fuck it, we ball. Peace.